Boston Zoning Board of Appeal for August 9th, 2022 is now in session. This hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature last year. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings until March 2023. This hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. This hearing is also being live streamed. In order to ensure this hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. The information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen and you will be muted throughout unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation materials when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. As with our in-person meetings, comments in support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer comment and the time for commenting as time constraints require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project. That is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes and you should be able to talk. If you are connecting to the hearing by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Again, if you are connected to the hearing by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first, and then provide their comment. In the interest of time and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Fortune reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. Just a reminder, if there are a number of people ready to speak, please put your name and address on the record and give us new information. If you do not have new information, that's perfectly fine. Put your name and address on the record and just state that fact. May I request that all board members put their last names and affiliations to make sure that participants know who they are. Let me call Mr. Fortune.
Madam Chair, Secretary Fortune.
Mr. Ruggiero.
Present. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ehrlich.
Here.
Ms. Dong.
Morning, Madam Chair.
Morning. Ms. Bpda.
Madam Chair, morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hampton from the Bpda.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Am I missing anybody? Okay, so before we get
Mr.
started,
D'Amico might be on, Madam Chair. I'm not 100% sure.
okay, thank you. We will recognize.
Present.
Okay, Mr. D'Amico, good to hear you this morning. So for all applicants, today we have a 6-member board, and you need 5 members to be in support of your project. You thus are allowed today to request an administrative deferral should you so wish for. Given that information, let us proceed with the approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first order of business is approval of the hearing minutes of July 12th of 2022. We need a motion.
A motion to approve the minutes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Don't you have to do roll call?
Years of practice.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich,
Aye.
Ms. Dong,
Present.
Ms.
Yes, sorry.
Raza.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Calling the first extension, calling BOA 773-901-1465 VFW Parkway. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Nick Zazula, McDermott, Quilty, and Miller, 28 State Street, Suite 802 in Boston, here on behalf of the applicant or appellant, 1465 VFW Parkway Trust.
Thank you, Counselor. Regarding 1465 VFW Parkway, the board originally granted this relief on March 30th of 2018, but it was appealed to Superior Court 19 days thereafter. The case was dismissed on August 12th of 2020. This was in the middle of COVID, state of emergency. Therefore, both litigation tolling and COVID tolling apply. With both types of tolling applied, this relief remains valid until May 27th of 2023. The clock restarted on this relief on June 15th, 2021, the end of the state of emergency. And there were 711 days remaining on the relief because of the litigation tolling. I recommend that the board confirm for the record that this relief remains valid until May 27th, 2023.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to confirm that the relief is valid through May 27th of 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
I too am in support. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Calling the next case of board final arbiter, calling BOA 918-229, Snelling Place. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Matt Eckel with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street on behalf of 2 Snelling Place. Also with me is the project architect, Michael McCloskey. We're here this morning seeking a board final arbiter to reflect changes made to this project. By way of brief background, this was originally approved on April 9th, 2019, but then was subsequently appealed in Superior Court. The original project included a 4th-story addition, which was creating 2 additional bedrooms for Unit 3, as well as a roof deck exclusive to Unit 3. As part of the stipulation of dismissal, the project is now eliminating this 4th-story addition and the roof deck. So as a result of this settlement, that has gone away. So this board final arbiter request is to just clarify for the record the reduction of this previously approved project.
Let's just get clarification. What were the approved number of units prior, and what is the number of units now?
So it's currently a 3-unit building, and it's remaining a 3-unit building. It was approved for the addition, but no change in occupancy.
Okay, and so it sounds like the 2 units have decreased in size. What were the original sizes, and what is the new size?
So the only unit that's decreasing in size is Unit 3, and that's now going to remain approximately 580 square feet as it currently is. It was proposed to be just over 1,000 square feet with the 4th-story addition.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 126-0823, 76 Wyman Street. Name and address for the record, please. There is Sarah Ewan on for Wyman Street.
Can you raise your hand if you're in the attendee section for this case?
We can come back to it, Madam Ambassador. Calling the next case for board final arbiter, calling BOA 111-8842, 28 Hilltop Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Deborah Nee. My address is 28 Hilltop Street, Dorchester, Mass.
And tell us why you're here.
Okay, so I've previously submitted some plans, and they got appealed. We went through the appeal process. It then got approved. We had a raised ridge, but added a provision that the Bpda had to sign off on it. We've been informed by Matt Martin of the Bpda that it is not in their policy to approve raised ridges. So we're asking that the provisions to be removed from the order.
I'm sorry. I just need to clarify, Mr. Hampton, am I understanding that the Bpda, when we request design review, is not willing to, is not willing very publicly to proceed with their required duties under design review?
No, Madam Chair. Actually, in this case, the dormers were already built when we received plans to sign off on design review. And per our standards, we were directed by the board to look at the ridge line for these dormers. However, they were already been built. So to approve this, to stamp the plans, we would have to ask the appellant to deconstruct the dormers to be in line with our standards, the Bpda standards for design review on the ridge line and roof and dormers. We didn't sign off on the plans because they've been built already. If the board would still like us to look at the ridge line and conform to the standards that we have, they would have to deconstruct the dormers. So we can either do that, or the board, we would ask or request that the board remove the design review proviso that's already on it because they've already been built.
Okay, Ms. Nee, did those dormers get built without design review after you had come to this board?
I'm unsure of when they were built. I believe my builder is actually on the call. Maybe he could answer that.
Okay. I see a hand raised, 1 second. Go ahead, Michael.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
What's your name and address on the record?
Hi, Madam Chair. My name is Michael Delarusso. It's 304 North Street, Boston, Mass. I'm a general contractor. I'm friends of the...
So let me just ask you one more time. Were the dormers built without getting design review?
The dormers were built way prior to even filing the permit. This was to legalize work that was done during an emergency when they had a collapse on the roof. So what they did was they mimicked, they had hired some union contractors and they came in and they helped them out because they were friends of theirs, and they mimicked a house that was right next door that had a little bit of a raised ridge. And so then when we went back to the board to have other done,
Okay,
they requested...
hold on 1 minute.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Ms. Nee, did you represent at the board hearing that these were already built? This dormer was already built?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Better, this is an awkward position to put the board in, but let me find out what, can you tell us about the ridge line? How far is it off?
So, Madam Chair, the one question I have for the applicant is, what is the final height of the building, of the house?
Let me just, I'd have to look at the plans, 1 second.
Or the builder, is it below 35 feet?
I'm
Oh,
gonna.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm here. The raised ridge is only about a foot above the original ridge line, and the total height of the building is about 31.5 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, go ahead. I just want to make this as a matter of public record, that coming in to ask for forgiveness is not the way to do it. We expect that every project will come in prior to being built versus coming in to get forgiveness, because the previous model that you might have mimicked may have been built illegally. And so we just did not want to have any message sent to anybody that this is the right way to go. Okay.
We understand, ma'am.
May I have everybody on mute? So this puts us in an awkward situation.
I just have one question for.
Yeah.
The code calls for the height limit of 35 feet.
Typically in single-family zoning, it's lower. So that, to
So
me,
they're
I just
still
I wanted to make sure that doing so was not going to trigger a violation. So I think I'm okay removing only in this one case, BPDA design review, just because it's already been done. And I don't see the project having a huge impact to the neighbors.
Okay, and just the message that we want to send through again is that in addition to the height, we are also interested in urban form. So that is why the proviso was put on initially. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Can I suggest that we put no building code relief as part of the motion, just to make sure that where you don't run afoul of either height or any other violation?
Ms. Barraza, that good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay with you, Mr. Ruggiero?
Yep.
Fortune?
Yes.
Ruggiero?
Yep.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Yes.
Barraza?
Yes.
Araujo, yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, Board Final Arbiter, calling BOA 129-5945, 14 to 40 Beach Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, if you're on for this application, can you raise your hand? Okay, do have a raised hand, 1 second. Axel? Sent a request to unmute you. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
It's Axel Windermuller for 40 Beach Street, Boston, Mass. 02111, presenting Cafe Dark in Boston.
So tell us why you're here for Board Final Arbiter.
We'd like to request a change of plans for the approval of adding 18 seats to Cafe Dark with the new landlord, and some pressure on the business that would definitely help us out.
So you had come in for takeout, but these revised plans are, just for the record, identifying the internal seats.
Correct, yes.
Okay, how are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Barraza?
Aye.
Araujo? Aye. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, Secretary here. We did get an email last night from Ms. Sarah Ewing in regards to 76 Wyman Street. She was not going to be able to make it here today. I'm going to make a motion that we defer this to the April 23rd meeting for extensions.
I think you mean August 23rd?
I mean, August 23rd. What did I say, April? I'm going back.
You're jumping ahead a little bit. Okay. Fortune?
Yes.
Ruggiero?
Yes.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo, I. Motion carries.
Thank you. Calling the next case, G card. Calling BOA 1350481, 220 Huntington Avenue. This project is to be constructed in a 10-story, 325-unit multi-residential and retail building with 152 below-grade parking spaces. The violation is Article 32, Section 32-4. This is G card. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Samantha Randall, representing the applicant, Midtown Tenant LLC. As stated, the proposed project is located at 220 Huntington Ave. It's a proposed 325-unit apartment building with...
Hold on one second. Christian?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Christian Simonelli, Boston Groundwater Trust, and we have both letters from the applicant.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we have those letters as well.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo is also aye. Motion carries.
Calling the next case, the G card, calling BOA 1349716, 58 Burbank Street. This is to construct a new 6-story single-family row house and head house. Scope includes roof decks, rear decks, exterior stairs, and the rear accessory parking spot at grade. Violation Article 32, Section 4. This is G card applicability. Name and address for the record.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Mark Lacasse, Lacasse Law, 75 Arlington Street in Boston, attorney for the applicant Patrick Hayden, in connection with this GCOD only request regarding construction of a new single-family row house on what is essentially a vacant parcel of land, but for an abandoned 1-story small commercial building that exists on site.
Question for you. I see that there's a roof deck proposed with a head house. Are these as of right?
They are as of right, Madam Chair. This is not a restricted roof structure sub-district in the Fenway neighborhood.
Thank you. Mr. Simonelli?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Christian Simonelli, Boston Groundwater Trust, and we have both letters from the applicant.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have those letters as well.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Peraza?
Aye.
Araujo, also aye. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
On the last case of G card, BOA 1351436, 286 Commonwealth Avenue. This is to replace the rear yard with a 1-story addition and roof deck for Unit 2. Violation Article 32, Section 4. This is G card applicability. Name and address for the record, please.
Jason Alukian, 286 Commonwealth Avenue.
Mr. Simonelli?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Christian Simonelli, Boston Groundwater Trust, and we have both letters from the applicant.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we have those letters as well.
Motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second. Mr. Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Peraza?
Aye.
Araujo, also aye. Motion carries. Okay, sorry, Mr. Fortune, just a reminder for us, for everybody as we move into the 9:30 hearings. This is a 6-member board. You need 5 members to be in support for the motion to carry. You can request an administrative deferral given that fact.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the 9:30 hearings, I'm going to call deferrals or withdrawals. If you could give me the address first, please, if you are deferring or withdrawing your project at 9:30.
124, 126 Layton Street, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Council. For the record, calling BOA 130-3397, 124 Layton Street. There is companion case BOA 130-3651, 126 Layton Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner, requesting a deferral.
Is this an administrative deferral or regular deferral? Just out of curiosity.
Administrative.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to defer.
Second.
Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
I'm going to recuse myself on this matter.
okay, Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo also in support. Motion carries. The date, please.
Council, we can do September 13th at 11:30.
Works for me.
Okay, let me just confirm that we will have a 7-member board that day. Should Mr. Ruggiero also need to defer that day too?
Madam Chair, I'm being told by Tom that we will have a full board.
We will have a full board, okay. So there's 9:13 at 11:30.
I also have 82 Webster Street, Mr. Secretary.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Councilor. For the record, calling BOA 132-7753, 82 Webster Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, for the record, Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner.
Okay, and your request is for a deferral?
That is correct.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to defer.
Is there a second? Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo also aye. It's been deferred. Same date, same time?
We can do the September 13th at 11:30.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 9:30 cases only? You can share the address with me. Hearing none, I'll call the first case, calling BOA 127-0711, 284 Maverick Street. This is seeking to erect a 4-unit residential building. The violations, Article 32, Section 32-4, this is G-Cod. Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking insufficient. Article 53, Section 8, the use is forbidden. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient lot size. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient additional lot area per unit. Article 53, Section 9, excessive FAR. Article 53, Section 9, the number of allowed stories has been exceeded. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient usable open space per unit. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient side yard setback. And Article 53, Section 9, insufficient rear yard setback. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street, here on behalf of Odessa Capital, Stan Klebner, and we also have Monty French, Design Architects, with us, representative. The proposal, as you can see in this picture, is to erect a new residential 4-unit building on a vacant parcel. The lot size is 1,924 square feet. These are 3-bedroom units and 1 2-bedroom unit, all 1,050 square feet. The floor plans, this is slab on grade, so there's no basement or living space in the basement. The first floor houses the main entry of the building. It would house Unit 1, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. These also have second means of egress out the back by way of egress stairs and patios and rear decks. We go up to the second floor. It is also 1,050 square feet. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath with a rear deck. Unit 3 is 1,050 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath, rear deck. The decks are all 75 square feet. The fourth floor finally has 1,050 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath with a rear deck as well. Just to go over the violations, this is a 3F district, although there's multifamily and apartment style complex all around us. We are proposing 4 units. The lot size is slightly under 2,000 square feet is what's required. We're at 1,924. FAR is 1.0, we're at 2.28. The maximum building height is 3 stories and 35 feet. We're at 4 stories and 38 feet. Usable open space is 300 square feet per dwelling unit. We're at 190 square feet per dwelling unit. On the left side yard, we meet and exceed. We're at 3 feet. What's required is 2.5. On the right side, we're at 0. We are at the lot line, but there is still space between the buildings. The rear yard, we're at 10. What's allowable under the code is 17 under the shallow lot exemption. And there is no parking, although we're 1 minute to Maverick T Station on the street.
Tell us about that rear yard again. What is required and what are you proposing?
So we're proposing 10 feet beyond our decks, Madam Chair. So the decks are about 5 feet. So we've got open air decks and then a 10-foot setback. What's required is 17. However, there is a really good picture in the next slide that shows we match or are under right here the other buildings on the block. So
And what's on the rear side? I see a Massport. What is that?
It's Massport's land and parking garage.
Okay.
On the rear.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Madam Chair, Christian Simonelli, Boston Groundwater Trust, and we have both letters for GCOM.
Madam Chair, Secretary, here we have those letters as well.
Thank you. Ms. Ambassador?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I just had difficulties with my internet. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Natalia Benitez, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office hosted an abutters meeting on March 2nd. Meeting 1 direct abutter attended and expressed some concerns regarding parking and density. The applicant also met with the Ghost Street Citizen Associations on March and April, for which they received support from the association. Residents were happy about the size of the bedrooms and family-friendly size units. Some concerns were expressed in regards to parking, and our office also received 5 letters of support. At this moment, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, here we have those letters that the Mayor's office spoke of.
Bob D'Amico? Hi, Bob, you looking to give testimony here? I see your hand is raised. Don't hear anything from Bob. I'll open the floor up to Joe. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, hi, Joseph Trujillo, 169 Maverick Street, East Boston. I want to go on record for support of this project.
Try to have, go back to Bob, are you looking to give testimony here? We can't hear you if you're talking. I see you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. I have no additional raised hands.
Okay, given that, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with Bpda Design Review paying special attention to the 4th story.
Okay, is there a second? Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dahl?
Aye.
Barraza?
Aye.
Araujo is also aye, so motion carries with design review with special attention to the 4th story.
Thank you very much, members.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 129-5426, 270 West 2nd Street. This is erect a 5-story, 84,000 gross square foot building with 81 residential units, 68 grade garage parking on a 27,664 square foot lot. Violations, Article 68, Section 8, insufficient lot area per unit. Article 68, Section 8, excessive FAR. Article 68, Section 8, the maximum allowed height has been exceeded within the district. Article 68, Section 8, insufficient usable open space per unit. Article 68, Section 8, insufficient side yard setback. And Article 68, Section 29, exceeded height limitations allowed on the lot. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Joe Hanley, McDermott Quilty Miller, 28 State Street in Boston. With me is the architect for the development, Frank Smith from Shalinski Architects. Also with me is Bill Kress and Phil Balboni, who is the ownership and development team. Madam Chair, just to take you quickly through the presentation, if I may. So 270 West 2nd Street is at the intersection of C and First. It is a through lot between West First Street and West 2nd Street. It has been utilized for a number of years as a fish squid processing plant by North Coast Seafood. And it has a series of industrial vestiges, a billboard that's on site. In 2012, the city amended Article 68 to make this area a MFR. It was previously industrial, so that made that use non-conforming existing. And what we are seeking to do is to bring a MFR compliant new residential development. You'll see in the slide here, the project is 5 stories, proposing 5 stories on First Street, which is the more commercial side, and steps down to 4 stories at its back, which is on 2nd Street, which is the more residential section of the neighborhood. If you go back a couple slides, you can see how this is treated. There you are. So one more slide up. There it is. Yep. So you can see in the bottom left, Madam Chair, the 4 stories, that's 2nd Street. To the far right are some views that we took from around the neighborhood that show no visual impact from the height. We had a very robust process through Article 80. And on the upper right, that's the corner of C and First Street. That's an existing apartment building. To the right, our building is the next one in, which is the 5-story brick section that you'll see. With respect to the housing program, of the 81 units, these are all full size. This is not a compact project. We have a mix of studios and 3 bedrooms. We have 31 studios, 31 1-beds, 17 2-beds, and 2 3-beds.
Sorry, 17 2-beds, and how many 3?
2 of them, and one of them is an affordable as well.
I'm sorry, so it's 31 studios, 31 1-beds.
Yep.
So I guess I could do the math, 17 2-beds, and how many 3-beds?
2 3-beds.
Only 2 3-beds, okay.
So it's, you know, mostly 2s and 1s with, the one thing I will say about the 3-bed, and if you look at through the board process, we're doing 4 more affordables than are required, and we've allocated.
Hold on. Just kind of let's go through the sizes, and then we'll talk about IDPs.
Okay. So Frank Smith from PCA is on and can give you the square footage of the units and how that breaks down. Frank?
Good morning. Yes, so our studio units are on average 490 square feet. Our 1-beds are 730 square feet, 2-beds 950 square feet, and the 3-beds 1,300 square feet.
Okay, thank you. And tell us about your IDPs then.
Yeah, so the IDP would require 8 on-site units at 13%. We are doing 12, which is 4 more. And of that ratio, we have 1, 2, 3 2-beds. We have, which are between, one's over 1,000 square feet, 1,063, one's approximately 900 square feet, and the other's approximately 900 square feet. Also, we have a mix of between 50% of AMI to 100% of AMI, so it's a much more broader range. The 3-bedroom unit that we're dedicating, which we would not be required to, is a 1,300 square foot unit that would be at 100% of AMI, intended to capture the middle class, if you will, or workforce.
Okay, thank you. Tell us about the...
The other thing, Madam Chair, just if I may, is no studios. So for our affordable program, they are all larger units, no studios. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please go ahead and tell us about the parking.
Yeah, so 60 spaces that you'll see in the next slide down. There you have it. I'll give you the page number so it's a little bit more helpful. So that should be page 7 on your presentation. So what we've done with the parking, Madam Chair, is 70 spaces, which gets us to a ratio of 0.75. I will say that this team is very respectful and understanding of, the concerns in South Boston for adequate parking. Parking obviously gets administered through the Article 80 large project process. We actually sought to do a little more parking, but we were asked not to exceed BTD and the transportation planning maximum minimum of 0.75 at this location, which is fairly close to the T. So we're parking it as much as we can under the Article 80 approval, and that gets us to the 0.75. We have EV spaces, we have a vehicle share, we also have adequate.
So let me, hold on a minute. I just want to get an understanding. So there is on-site double, can I ask everybody who's chatting in the background to mute yourself, please? So there's, looks like over 100, or close to 100 bike spaces.
Yes, ma'am.
And bike share at the curb. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, ma'am, on both sides, because again, this is a through lot, as you'll see. So we have two residential entrances, one on 2nd Street, which is the lower level density, if you will, height, and then one on 1st Street on the main side. So 2 bike storage interior, worked very hard with the Article 80 process for that. We're also funding a blue bike station in front. I know you see a lot.
Let me ask you, how many spaces on that street does bike share eliminate?
So Frank, do you have that? I don't know as if 1st Street is still, it's not as organized with respect to the on-street parking. But Frank, can you speak to that?
So the question is, how many is it? Are you asking?
Is it at all? So the blue bike location, is it displacing parking?
No, not currently. There's no parking at that location right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The other thing I would say, Madam Chair, if you look at the existing conditions today, we are restoring. If you go
I'm not worried about that. What I want to understand is the details of this proposal, because that's why you're here. The other thing I have a question about is the lift parking. I've heard that they do sometimes, but mostly they do not work. So can somebody tell me what the system is that you're proposing to use, and how and its efficacy?
Yeah, Frank, do you want to handle that?
Yes, absolutely. So there have been some increases in technology in terms of the lift spaces. Historically, it required some coordination between residents to work out how the lifts work. Now, this is actually, it's a sort of on-demand system. It's a big rotating system, not an up and down system. Sorry, I'm trying to explain this without getting too complicated, but you can literally call forth your car. Right, so it's a big rotating track rather than having to say swap keys with a resident or something to make this work. So that's the system that we're envisioning.
Okay, thank you. How are the any questions from the board? How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board?
Mr. Hanley, has the contractor been selected for the project?
No, not at this point. So North Coast has a little more time on their lease, which we'll be working with. So this hasn't been one where there's been a lot of pre-con work done yet.
Is there a commitment to community standards?
Yeah, so this owner has been in this neighborhood since the 1950s, and we will be carefully selecting qualified contractors who work in the city safely and appropriately. So we look forward to speaking with anyone and everyone who can qualify and who's interested.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Is anybody here to speak in support or in opposition of elected officials or representative of elected officials first?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm Anna White with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. 270 West 2nd was a BPDA project. They had a robust community process. At this time, we'd like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam. Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to vote in support based on a true community process and good faith compromises by the development team with the neighbors and civic group. These compromises include reducing height and removing a story from the project, removal of a roof deck, and decreasing density from 93 units to 81 units. Moreover, the proponents sought to increase parking 22 spaces from 47 up to 69. However, they were limited at 60 by the city. Please note South Boston remained in a parking crisis, while Council President Flynn supports parking ratios of 1:1 or greater as close as possible. He respectfully requests that the city, BPDA, and BTD continue to work closely with the development team and neighbors on this issue by re-implementing the previously agreed upon 9 parking spaces through a design review process. He also asked that the team continue to work closely with neighbors on any quality of life issues during the construction phase. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, on behalf of City Council at Large Michael Flaherty. As you know, Article 68 went through an extensive community process, and the council's approach has been consistent to Article 68. That said, this project has gone through an extensive process to help inform the project's scale and size, so it's consistent with nearby development efforts along West 2nd Street. The proponent is a longtime property owner in South Boston, has worked closely with neighbors, civic organizations, and elected officials throughout the years, including on a number of key areas on this project. Those areas include removal of the roof decks, reductions in height, parking, as well as efforts to address numerous public realm concerns in the area, as well as walkability, accessibility of the site as it stands in its current state, along with other key areas. And the councilor would also like to echo the sentiments of Councilor Flynn in regards to the extreme parking issues throughout South Boston. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we do have a couple of letters of support.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands at the moment.
Sorry, you said no raised hands?
Actually, one just popped up. Second time doing it.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and Zoning Board. As a neighbor who walks by the site, which is underused and candidly odorous on a daily basis with my newborn.
Please put your address on the record.
105 West 3rd Street.
Okay.
And again, we walk by my wife and newborn on a daily basis, and the site is unsightly and smells quite odorous. So we strongly support any development of the site and are excited for the new neighbors that it'll bring. Thank you.
Okay, I have no addition, no raised hands.
Well, given that information, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with BPDA design review.
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero, Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye. Sorry.
Araujo, aye. Motion carries. Approval with design review.
Thank you. Calling the next case, calling BOA 133-4613, 1744 to 1750 Center Street. This is a change of art to include a drive-up ATM on site of the new JP Morgan Chase Bank. The violation, Article 56, Section 15, use of drive-in bank is conditioned. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. It's Attorney Neil Smola of Partridge, Schnell and Hahn, 128 Union Street, New Bedford, Massachusetts. Here representing applicant JP Morgan Chase, along with our engineering group, Core States, who's represented by Alan Roscoe today. As was stated, we're seeking a special permit for a drive-through ATM at the already permitted Center Street location, Chase Bank. The proposal does not include a teller window. It's simply a drive-up ATM. The proposed plans are consistent with all of Chase Bank's ATMs that they use throughout the country.
Mostly we are interested about how it fits into this location on Center Street. So if you could respond to that.
Sure, why don't I'll turn it over to Alan Roscoe, the engineering team, to go over those details and ask any questions, answer any questions that you have.
So let me just ask you, is that signage that's already there with those little plantings that says, "Welcome to West Roxbury," will that be maintained?
Yes, if I could speak to that. Alan Roscoe, 19 Stony Brook Road, Raleigh, Massachusetts, Core States Group representing Chase. Yes, we've had those discussions through the neighborhood meeting phase, and Chase has agreed to provide irrigation for that planter area that houses the gateway sign to the neighborhood.
And will there be any additional screening or buffering proposed?
Yes, we have an elaborate landscape plan. We're pulling back on the limits of the paving and the parking areas. This is the site of a former gas station, so it was almost completely impervious. So we have buffer strips on the sides and augmenting the landscaped island out at the intersection as well. The landscape drawing is part of our submission.
Okay, and let me just ask, I guess the next question is signage. What signage are you proposing?
All the signage is allowed by right. We have permits for all, building mounted and standalone.
So tell us about your standalones.
We have directional signage. We have, as you can see on this drawing, we have,
yeah, just asking about the Chase signage.
Yeah, there's building mounted Chase Bank signs. That's the detail on the lower right-hand side of this particular drawing. And then there are some design elements, signage elements on the ATM itself.
Okay, and access will be two ways at both Center Street and is that Anawan? Is that the rest of Anawan or whatever that street is?
Yeah, Belgrade Avenue. Yeah, we're preserving the driveway openings, but we are limiting exit movements to right turn only out, so that we're adding to safety.
Okay, because you know there's a bus stop there.
Correct.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jake Lacey from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Applicant had a butters meeting with the Office of Neighborhood Services on June 16th and also met with the West Roxbury Neighborhood Council on June 21st, where the zoning committee voted 7-0 in support of the project. We have not received any letters of opposition, and at this time, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council at Large, Michael Flaherty. Having received no letters of opposition and due to the fact that the WRNC voted unanimously in support, Council, if you want to record in support.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands at the moment.
Mr. Hampton?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jeff Hampton, BPDA. We recommended approval with design review specifically for landscaping and buffering along the edges.
Given that information, may I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve the BPDA design review.
Second.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Barraza?
Aye.
Raujo also in support of this motion for approval with BPDA design review carries. Good luck.
Calling the next
Thank you very
case.
much, folks.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 133-7306, 360 Corey Street. This is interior work only, changing part of attic space from mechanical storage, bathroom, and bedroom space. The violation is Article 56, Section 8. FAR is excessive. Name and address for the record, please.
I'm sorry, there is a raised hand here. 1 second. Okay. Jason, are you on for this proposal?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yep. Let me just make you a panelist really quick. That way you can start your video if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like to start the video.
The designation. Yeah, okay, there you go. You may have been muted. If you can just unmute yourself again. And Jason, can you hear us? Oh, you're on mute, Jason. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me, and is my video started?
I can hear you now.
Am I good?
Yeah, please put your name and address on the record and tell us what's being proposed.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Jason Cunningham, 800 Newton Street, Chestnut Hill. This is regarding 360 Corey Street in West Roxbury. I'm the owner of the property. This is an application for a bedroom and a bathroom to be added to the attic space. The violation is exceeding FAR by 255.6 feet. I have a letter of support from.
Oh, hold on. This is a one family. Is it owner occupied?
This is a new development.
Is this the one where you're digging into the rocks over there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So why don't you just give us an overview of how this is proposed to work?
Well, it's the shell of the home has been approved. This is an application for the third floor, the attic space, to add a bedroom and a bathroom to that space, kind of an in-law space, so to speak.
So in-law, does it mean it has a separate kitchen or anything? It's just an additional bedroom?
It's just an additional bedroom and a bathroom. It's open space. It's currently approved as open finished space. But to have the bedroom and bathroom added, we would be 255 square feet over the FAR.
And tell us about the garage. Is that garage on Corey or on Mullen?
It's on Corey.
It is on Corey. Okay.
Yes.
And how many bedrooms in this altogether?
It's 3 currently.
Okay, so total 4 beds. Okay.
It would make it 4, yes.
Okay, how are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate. If the applicant can please let us know what the ceiling height is in the attic, that would be great.
It's a 7-foot ceiling line, I believe, at the highest point.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the height from the building height?
It's under 35 feet.
Okay, got it. Okay. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why you're adding this space now. If it's under construction, you got approved without it.
It was recommended by ISD to do it this way, to get the approval first so that we could start dealing with the site itself. Frank D'Amato suggested doing it this way, so I just followed his advice.
Okay.
On the drawings of A2.0, you have a height at 37 feet.
Okay.
To the grade, to mid-grade, it seems.
Yeah, the plan has been approved in terms of the height, so this would not be changing the height of the home. I'm not sure if my architect could speak to that.
So periodically, we do have, some projects that come in that then come in and ask for forgiveness after they've been completed. So we just want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you and that you are completely at 35 or below.
Okay.
So we will make sure that happens. Any other questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Jake Lacey from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant met with the West Roxbury Neighborhood Council on June 21st, where they received a vote of 7-0 in support. We do have a combined letter of support from the direct abutters at 352 and 354 Corey Street, as well as 3 Marlin Street, once again supporting this proposed update. At this time, we defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Waltman, City Council at Large Michael Flaherty, Council do on record in support.
Madam Chair, Secretary here. We do have the letters of support the mayor's office spoke of, but we also have 1 letter of opposition.
Mr. Fortune, what's the opposition based on?
They're opposed to the project from the neighborhood. I think it's too big.
Oh, so they opposed to the basic as of right approval. Okay, got it. Okay.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Second.
Let's see, Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo, also in support, and emphasizing that the project will be at 35 or below, 35 feet or below.
Thank you.
You want a motion to include no building code relief?
No, I don't think so. He'll figure it out. It's new construction and it's significant digging and drilling that he's doing at the site through all kinds of, so it's.
The relief is for FAR, so that's what we're giving a relief for.
Exactly.
No, but you were concerned about the height. Never mind.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Madam
sorry.
Chair, would you like to make your announcement? I'm going to call the 10:30s.
Okay, just a reminder to all applicants, we have a 6-member board today. You need 5 members for your project to be approved. So should you prefer, you could request an administrative deferral until there's a time that there is a full board.
So I'm going to call the 10:30 cases. It's now 10:32. Are there any deferrals or withdrawals for the 10:30 cases? If you could give me the address first, please.
5 Breed Street.
I'm sorry, say that again?
5 Breed Street, Ward 1.
Thank you, Counselor. For the record, calling BOA 121-5328, 5 Breed Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street. We are seeking an administrative deferral.
May I have a motion, please?
Motion to defer.
A second. Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero, Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Oh, aye.
Araujo, also aye. The date, please?
September 13th at 11:30.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 10:30 cases? You can give me the address first, please.
329 Galvin Boulevard.
Thank you, Counselor. I'm sorry, what was the address?
329 Galvin Boulevard.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. For the record, calling BOA 126-3429, 329 Galvin Boulevard. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Ryan Spitz with Adams and Moranci with the business address of 168 H Street, first floor, South Boston. We are here today seeking an administrative deferral.
Motion, please, and second.
Motion to defer.
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo, also aye. Motion carries. The date?
You also have a date of September 13th at 11:30.
Thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 10:30 cases? Hearing none, we'll go back.
I have 2 raised hands here. Let me just double check. Morgan, are you asking to deferral?
Nope, I'm asking to be added as a petitioner.
Okay. All right, and then Deputy Yen, I see your hand is raised. Are you looking for a deferral? Sent a request to unmute you. Are you looking for a deferral? All right, I think we're all set.
Okay, calling the next case, calling DOA 130-7565, 839 to 843 Beacon Street. This is a change of occupancy from 45 residential units, commercial retail spaces, parking garage to 45 residential units, commercial retail spaces, parking garage, and general practice veterinary clinic on the ground floor. Construct 2,400 square foot tenant fit out consisting of 4 exam rooms, an x-ray suite, and a surgery suite and treatment area. The violation is Article 61, Section 10. Animal hospital clinic is a forbidden use. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the applicant, Thrive Vet Care. With me is Roger Davila, who's the Director of Real Estate, and I believe Tori Midori from Thrive as well. Good morning.
Morning. Tell us, this is a forbidden use. So tell us about this surgery clinic, just some details, hours of operation.
Yes, ma'am. It is a veterinary clinic. It is in this building at 839 Beacon, which is newly constructed, was permitted in 2016 to include the 2 ground floor commercial or retail spaces. The veterinary clinic would go into one of those 2 spaces in the building, of course, on frontage on Beacon Street. We did, in our process, have an abutters meeting on April 19th, followed by a meeting and a series of discussions with the Audubon Circle neighborhood.
So Mr. Quilty, this is a question. Is this going to be soundproof so that abutting retail spaces will not be affected in any way?
Yes, ma'am. We have worked very closely with the neighborhood and the property owner to ensure that this use does not interfere negatively with either the other retail space or the residences above. In fact, in that context, through our meetings and discussions with the Audubon Circle Neighborhood Association, we have a letter that we've agreed to with them, which includes 13 different items for everything from hours of operation to cleanliness to signage to.
How about overnight stays? Will you be having overnight stays here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And tell us about the hours of operation.
The hours of operation are 8:30. We changed it to assist the neighborhood. Let me just get this for a moment. It's opening at 8:30 a.m. with a first appointment no earlier than 8:50 a.m. and a closing hour of 7 p.m.
And is that Monday through Friday?
It is 7 days. We changed the hours on the weekend. Again, I'm sorry, I've got 13 items here to look through. Roger, are you on with us?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, this is Roger. We are not going to be operating on Sundays.
Okay, no Sunday.
Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday. So the hours remain the same for those days and no operations on Sundays.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. As you heard from Mr. Quilty, there's an extensive community process, and the applicant worked very closely with the local neighborhood association, which is the Audubon Circle Neighborhood Association, to ensure that concerns were addressed. At this time, our office is unaware of any lingering concerns. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have 9 letters of opposition.
Okay. So this is 2,400 square foot of tenant space within a building that has 45 residential units, parking garage. And retail space, okay.
Yes,
Any more raised hands, Ms. Ambassador?
Madam, I'm sorry.
Hold on, Mr.
Ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, there is a raised hand. Dolores, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, before I get to you, Dolores, I want to go to Councilor, for Jacob Warner. I see your hand is raised here from Councilor Box office. Go ahead. Jacob?
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Sorry about that. And good morning, Mr. Secretary. This is Jacob Warner from the Office of Boston City Councilor Kinsey Bach. Just wanted to convey the councilor's support for this project and that she's hoping this moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And then Dolores, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. Madam Chair, members of the board, my name is Dolores Bogdanian. I live at 452 Park Drive in Boston, and I'm here speaking on behalf of the Audubon Circle Neighborhood Association. I am actually surprised and dismayed to hear that there were a number of letters in opposition to this proposal. We did meet with Thrive Pet Healthcare, and the Thrive has made a number of important commitments to address the concerns that we had about a veterinary clinic operating at this location, which is both in a residential building and abuts residential buildings. Because of those commitments, it makes a board limitation that any zoning relief that may be granted today be for Thrive Pet Healthcare only very important. And we respectfully ask that you would put that limitation on it. We also would respectfully request that the board incorporate as many of Thrive's commitments, such as hours of operation, the number of exam rooms, prohibition on overnight boarding, pet and medical waste disposal, and the soundproofing and deliveries and pickups needing to be from the rear of the building and not on Beacon Street, incorporated in the board's decision. In this way, we'd be more confident that Thrive could be a good fit in the neighborhood. There's one question that I'm sorry to raise here, Dennis, but I did think that there were shortened hours on Saturday. Perhaps if you could recall that conversation, we could straighten that question out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bogdanian. Clarification, Mr. Quilty?
I remember the conversations. I must apologize. In the letter of June 16th, which is the one, I believe, the last one that we agreed to, it just has a closing hour of 7 p.m.
Okay.
I know we had conversations about it. I am just uncertain as I appear here this morning. I did want to...
Hold on. Go ahead quickly, Mr. Quilty.
Just quick, I do want to, we made a commitment to Ms. Bogdanian and the association that in the drafting of the decision, if we are able to proceed today, that I would include as much as of the letter that we agreed to in terms of hours and cleanliness and use as I could do in that agreement. So we intend fully to live by that agreement. We spent a lot of time with the association. We appreciate their time. And we will make sure that those agreements are embodied in the zoning decision if need be.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Quilty, hold on. So it sounds like this is, Ms. Ambassador, any more raised hands?
Okay, I have no idea.
I have one thing to jump in. This is Roger Davila with Thrive Pet Healthcare. The hours on Saturday are from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
8 to 2? Okay.
There it is. Thank you.
Okay, so board members, I guess it's time for a motion. It sounds like it's the pertinent facts are to this applicant only, which is Thrive Vet Care. Hours of operation specified, no overnights, and it sounds like cleanup and deliveries through the rear.
Great. I'd like to make a motion to approve with the following provisos. For this petitioner only, hours of operation 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, no overnight boarding of animals, and that the applicant make all deliveries around the rear of the property.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Raujo also in support, so motion of approval with those provisos carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Calling the next case. Calling BOA 135-0004, 430 to 454 Blue Hill Avenue. This is adding a warehouse and delivery to an existing cannabis establishment. The violation, Article 9, Section 2, the change in non-conforming use change. Article 50, Section 19, the cannabis accessory warehouse and use is conditional. Article 50, Section 19, delivery is forbidden. And Article 50, Section 19, use and regulation. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Kobe Evans, 430 Blue Hill Ave. I am the co-owner. I'm here with my business partner, Kevin Hart, and also our attorney, Alexis Kachuk. Good morning, Mr. Secretary and Madam Chair and members of the board. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of our project. We are Pure Oasis, Boston's first recreational dispensary. We opened in March of 2020, and we are looking to expand our business profile by adding delivery to our current operation. Currently at 430 Blue Hill Ave, we have obviously a retail operation. We also have just under 3,000 square feet of operation space, which is office, retail, and a little bit of a waiting area.
Mr. Evans, just a quick question. So are you talking about adding a warehousing and delivery or just delivery?
Just delivery.
So we are scratching the request for warehousing in your appeal then?
Yeah, it's a little nuanced because I think we're probably one of the first in the city, if not in the state, that actually has a retail operation that's doing delivery out of it. So I'm not sure legally how.
So you're then before us purely for delivery.
Correct.
So tell us about the details of the delivery. We very recently approved a delivery project around the corner from you.
Correct.
Tell us how this will be complementary, if it's all competitive, so just talk us through all of this. And tell us exactly how this delivery process will work, how many vehicles, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so we're looking right now just to start with 2 deliveries. We have the benefit of having 10 off-site parking spaces in back of our retail location. And so we were definitely very supportive of the other applicant that we recently won approval to operate almost the next block over from us. Within the delivery profile, because there are only equity applicants in this program for the first few years, there needs to be kind of as many operators as possible, only because the demand for delivery versus how many actual operators will be active in Boston, there will be kind of a deficiency. And so what we'll be doing is offering delivery to our customers who frequent our shop in Grove Hall and in that surrounding communities with 2 delivery trucks. And the regulations for the state are pretty straightforward in terms of where we can't deliver to in terms of public housing and colleges and hotels. And so we're looking at hiring about 6 additional staff to handle our delivery needs. And I believe we're going to be doing 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. is going to be our delivery window. Were there any specific questions I can get into for you?
Okay, so you say all deliveries will be completed by, yes. So do you have other sites that you are an applicant on?
Yeah, so we actually have Brighton, which we applied and that was denied by the board. And then we have Downtown Crossing, which we, again, that's just retail. That was approved by the board. And then we have a cultivation facility that we're working on down in Dayton, Mass.
Where is the cultivation facility?
It's Dayton. It's down off Route 24 next to Taunton and.
Okay, got it. No, I just wanted to know whether it was within city limits.
No.
I didn't quite hear you. So have you explored the delivery options in, at your other site at Downtown Crossing?
No, there's no parking downtown, so we didn't even think about doing it out of downtown. So no, we didn't. Again, because we have so many parking spaces in Grove Hall and it's centrally located, we just focused on Grove Hall for delivery.
Because I think when we gave you our approval for the facility, the retail facility in Grove Hall, the parking was for your staff, though I do know that you made that you did state a number of them would be using public transportation.
Yeah.
And for your clients. So I just don't know what 6 additional staff people would do, and two vans would do.
Yeah, so we're, a couple of things. One, we kind of overshot our estimation of the amount of staff members that would actually drive, because we end up hiring a lot from the community. People either walk or ride share. But on the average day, our parking lot, if there are 2 cars in our parking lot, I'm surprised. And then on top of that, we're looking more for smaller economical cars when it comes to delivery, because they tend to blend into kind of ordinary traffic and they don't stand out as a quote unquote delivery vehicle based on the sensitive nature of what we're doing. We're looking at kind of these hybrid looking Kia Souls or cars that, you know, don't necessarily look like delivery vans that are, frankly, they're just more affordable nowadays. And so
Okay.
we don't have the capacity.
And so you will have 2 agents. Can everybody please mute yourself? So how will loading into the van occur? Will the product be walked around the sidewalk to your parking spot, or how are you anticipating that to happen?
And so we're kind of fortunate because we have this gated off parking area that we've obscured the fence around it. And so where we take deliveries already for product and, you know, cash pickups, we're using the same model where the vehicle will be parked inside the van, the gated area, and we'll have security on the perimeter as another layer of protection, if you will. And so we're not really having to reinvent anything because it's within our current business model, and we already have the security apparatus in place to load and unload for deliveries.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, are these delivery drivers going to be employees of your operation or independent contractors?
No, they're employees.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? And just to clarify, the delivery will be 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Is that 7 days a week, or what are the days?
No, you're correct. 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. We'll have all deliveries. All the vans will be back on site by 9 p.m. 7 days.
And that is 7 days a week.
Correct.
So there are no blue laws for Sunday then?
No, not for retail, no.
Okay, is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Keisha Santana from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this point, we would like to defer the judgment to the board. The applicant met with the butters on May 11th, and so far they are in support. It was just more of the fact that there is another facility like around the block away that caused some question, but overall they are in support. But at this point, we'd like to defer the judgment to the board.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we have letters of support, and we have 1 letter of opposition.
And what is the opposition based on, please, Mr. Fortune?
Children in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Mr. Naberto from Rep. Miranda's office is on. I see your hand is raised. You're a panelist. You can unmute yourself if you're looking to give testimony here.
Hello, my name is Naberto Mendez from the Office of State Rep. Liz Miranda. I'm just here on behalf of Rep. Liz to voice my support for Pure Oasis. They are great supporters of the community, and Liz supports this project.
And how have their operations been, Noberto?
Their operations have been very helpful to the community. I just, from Liz, everyone, there haven't been a lot of voices of opposition that have come towards our office. Many have been voices of support, and at this moment, that's all that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Mike Cozy, go ahead.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. At the time of the public meeting, which was before 415 had gotten approval, we had preferred this proposal rather than 415 Blue Avenue. But the fact that 415 has been approved, we're against any further expansion within this one block area of a further expansion of marijuana-related businesses. There is traffic issues in front of their operations. They've had people double park. Their rideshare people just drop off in the middle of the street. They have patrons park on the other side, blocking traffic on Blue Avenue. People park in the private parking lots, both at Stop and Shop and also at the One United parking lot. You know, so we're concerned in terms of some of the follow through on this. The other issue is that we think they need to readjust their Sunday hours. Their Sunday hours will impact several of the large churches in the area that has right next door and across the street as well, as we follow through on this.
Okay.
I'm trying to wish no raised hands.
Okay. So I think the question before this board is that we had approved this for retail use. Subsequent, we did approve a delivery use down the street. And this is a point where there are many bus routes that converge, kids going back and forth, a lot of pedestrian vehicular conflicts. I know many of you drive that street, so you know what happens there. And so I think the question is if this is an appropriate use, given that we already have another use that this board has approved.
I mean, my only thought is, could this potentially reduce vehicular traffic to this location? Because now people have the delivery option, and instead of having to go down to the location and get their product, they can have it delivered to them. So, you know.
No, got it.
That's just where my head's at.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that could be. Any other thoughts on this? No? Let me just ask, has the cannabis board, the city's cannabis board, made any recommendations, or what is their process on this?
Is that for me, Madam Chair?
Yes.
And so again, I think that the board sees the value in the equity applicants like Pure Oasis, that was the first on the East Coast, the first in a major city to be part of this delivery program, because it was set aside for equity applicants before a lot of the big companies had a chance to get involved. And so I think that the words that the chair used when she approved us for delivery was model applicant, because we have been, you know, we participated in the open streets on Sunday, and we're we're always.
No, I got it. I mean, the thing about being a good community member, it's twofold. One is community participation, but clearly the second thing is running a good business, which it appears you do, but you know, you need to control for the traffic pedestrian conflicts that have emerged since you opened. Can you talk about then, perhaps this can help us, how much of your business is online? In other words, to respond to Mr. Ruggiero's comment, you know, how much traffic potentially, and I need real answers, that this will divert from your current business model.
So the estimates are somewhere to the degree that, you know, on a given day, one car can reduce 25 trips of customers coming to the store. And so, you know, to his point, when you have delivery, you have less people coming to the store, picking up product, going home. So those are actually 2 trips coming and going. And so with one car, with 2 cars, you're looking at, you know, potentially 50 trips a day that you're saving, or more if you multiply it, of customers who are no longer coming into the store. And, you know, we live in a world where everyone, especially in a major city, wants things delivered to them, and they don't want to have to, you know, pay for ride shares and things that come to the store.
And is there a surcharge on this for delivery?
It's nominal. Again, because we're a retailer, we can defer a lot of that cost. So it would probably be cheaper than a ride share to come to the store. So it would probably be $9, $9.99.
Okay, so given that information, that additional information, may I have a motion? And with the motion, I would need specific reasons for the motion. So go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve to this petitioner only, with the hours of operation as discussed, which were 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week.
Okay. And 2 vehicles?
For two delivery vehicles, yep.
2 vehicles, okay.
And all loading and unloading of the delivery vehicles must take place off the public way, so in their back parking lot.
Unlocked, okay. Okay, do we want, okay, is there a second to that? Okay, see, Fortune.
Aye.
Giro.
Aye.
Pollock.
Aye.
Dong.
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
Raujo is also in support, so motion carries with those provisos. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
I'm going to call the 10:30 hearings. The first case, calling BOA 127-2787.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fortune. I thought I saw some random chat where somebody was late in asking for a deferral for 9:30.
Okay, I'll do it again, Madam Chair. I'm going to call the 10:30 hearings for any deferrals or withdrawals. If you give me the address first, please.
Hi, Doug should be on. Can you hear us? I unmuted him. Let me just.
Will the applicant for 330 Freeport please get online and unmute yourself?
He's unmuted. Can you hear us, Mr. Nguyen? I think he might be having some issues with the mic. But he is seeking a deferral here.
Can I make a motion to defer for 333 Freeport Street?
Yes, well, this is highly unusual, but because there are technical difficulties, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Fortune.
Aye.
Ruggiero.
Aye.
Pollock.
Aye.
Dahl.
Aye.
Peraza,
Aye.
Araujo, also in support for deferral, the date.
We'll do no, September 13th at 11:30.
Okay, please make sure that the applicant gets the information, okay? Sorry, Mr. Fortune, let's move ahead with the regular agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Calling the next case, BOA 127-2787, 331 to 335 Border Street. This is for the property located at 331, 335 Border Street. Construct a permanent roof structure to cover the proposed outdoor seating for 3 seasons. The space will not be used during the cold winter months. It will be insulated and/or conditioned space. Violations, Article 27T, this is in the East Boston iPod. Article 53, Section 9, front yard's insufficient, and Article 53, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner, Mr. Bpda Recommendation, who is the owner of Bpda Restaurant. Madam Chair, this is an existing single-story commercial structure located on Border Street, close to the waterfront, and it's actually located in 2F 2000 district. The use would be considered a pre-existing non-conforming use. It has been a full-service restaurant for the better part of the last 2 decades, which has been owned and operated by the Argueta family. Prior to that, it was a commercial building, so this has continued on as a commercial site for some time. This proposal would involve 2 changes to the building. One is a small modification to the rear, which would allow for increased storage and some additional refrigeration to be used in connection with the restaurant. And then more importantly is a covered area, which would be located to the right side. I do have some renderings here. The right side of the building, which would allow for up to 32 outdoor seats. Mr. Argueta has been using that outdoor space since COVID to allow for additional seating options within the property boundary. If we jump to the next screen, we actually can see the layout of the site for the actual plot plan. The relief necessary for the proposed modification.
So hold on, Mr. Lins, tell us what we should be, so this is the right, okay,
Correct.
and how many parking spaces does he have?
So currently, the pre-existing condition, it does allow for parking on the site, but there was no parking required when the property was converted to restaurant use some time ago. We probably can accommodate up to about 6 parking spaces. Those wouldn't necessarily be used for patrons, however, that would be used for employees because of the complexity of moving in and out of the parking lot, especially with the outdoor seating that's being located in the area that's designated on the site plan here.
If that's 32 seats, is there a rendering that shows what this would look like?
Absolutely. If we jump down to page 16, that should show the rendering. I also want to point out that we are showing a small area, about 45 square foot area to the rear portion of the building, which would be for that additional storage and refrigeration. So what we're seeing here is the rendering of what the 3-season, for lack of a better term, area would look like. Part of the community process, we did commit that obviously seating out here would be associated with dining only. There would not be the opportunity for just to have beverages out in the outdoor area. All dining service would cease at 10 p.m. and all patrons would be cleared from the outdoor patio by 10:30 p.m. We do recognize that we are in close proximity to some residential properties as well. Any music that would be played at a respectable tone and would be ended at 9:30 p.m. as well. So the relief that would be necessary, Madam Chair, involves the rear setback that is already non-conforming. There's about a 5-foot setback from the narrowest portion of the building that was shown in the plot plan, and then the front yard setback for the additional architectural features that we're proposing would be inconsistent with 2F 2000. But we feel this is an extremely modest modification of the building. It allows Mr. Argueta to expand his operation without a significant expense to the building itself. And there will be some improvements as well to the exterior of the building from its current condition. I'm happy to answer any questions, Madam Chair.
So there will not be any retractable walls or anything proposed for that space?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anyone here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. I'm Natalia Benitez with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. And a butters meeting was hosted on April 21st for this project. A butters expressed a lot of concerns, such as the loss of parking if this were to be approved. A butters also opposed the proposed extension of the restaurant because of the constant and loud noise during the warmer months when they have their patio open. The applicant also met with the Eagle Hill Civic Association in April and May. The association voted to oppose the proposal, with 10 residents voting to oppose and 8 to approve. Those who oppose expressed concerns regarding noise and loss of parking. They believe the business is profitable enough and it does not need any zoning relief. Those who supported the extension want to support the small local business and suggested to add a curfew if approved. Our office also received 5 letters opposing the proposal, and at this time, our office would like to defer any judgment to the board. Thank you.
So a quick question for you. So the opposition for noise, that's based on music or conversation?
That's based on music, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we do have the letters of support and opposition that the mayor's office spoke of.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I ask for clarification?
Hold on, let's try to hear from everybody.
Okay, Councilor Coletta's office, you can unmute yourself as a panelist.
Good afternoon. My name is Sebastian Parra. I'm the East Boston liaison for Councilor Coletta. I want to go on record on support of this project. We also have sent a letter of support to your team, Madam Chair, and at this moment, we'd like to show our support.
Okay. I have 2 raised hands here. I'll start with Matthew. Can you state your name and address for the record, please? Hi, Matthew. Are you looking to give testimony here? Okay. Might be having issues with your mic.
Yes, Miss Ambassador, let's keep going, okay?
Beth, go ahead. Are you looking to give testimony here? I sent a request to unmute you.
No, I'm the architect, thank you.
Oh, thanks. Okay, I have no additional.
Ms. Bennett, did you have a clarifying question?
Yes, so on the elevations, they're showing a proposed 48-inch tall gate, and the renderings show a much more kind of transparent view to the patio. Is the back kind of driveway going to be accessible throughout the day, or is this going to be gated throughout the whole day?
I think we were showing, through the chair, I think we were showing a gate for purposes of just delineating where the property boundary is. And as I stated previously, this is not intended to be parking for patrons. It's not currently the operation presently. The concern was, and currently we do use that space for outdoor seating as it is, and it just created a little bit of a hazard with respect to the area where cars would be traveling in and out. So we wanted to limit who would be parking on the site. So we do show the gate, but I expect if this were to be approved, there would likely be some Bpda design review that would go into that. So we can certainly consider those within the conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it sounds to me that the issue that we have with this proposal is the potential noise from music. On the other hand, it does seem like a worthy proposal. So may I have a motion, please?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve with the following provisos: Bpda design review, a 9 p.m. Hour closing for the patio, and no music on the patio.
With the Bpda design review, can we just say with special attention to that public sidewalk?
Yeah. Yep.
Concentrate on the public sidewalk? Okay.
Yes, because there's walls that are also 72-inch high.
Got it. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo is also aye, so the motion with those provisos carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 134-3369, 159 to 165 Everett Street. This is to change the foundation plan to include a frost wall and remove parking to have a total of 7 parking spaces and erect a 7-unit residential dwelling with roof decks and parking for 8 vehicles. The violations, Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner. With me is the project architect, David Freed, with respect to this proposal. Madam Chair, the board may remember that this project was approved back, excuse me, in January of 2021 to allow for the demolition of existing structures and the proposed construction for a 7-unit residential multifamily building. The permit for that project has issued.
So hold on, Mr. Lynn. So it was approved for 7 units. How many parking spots?
8 parking spaces.
And 8 spaces. Okay, so why are you here today?
Sure. So during construction, and I can certainly let Mr. Freed explain the finer details of this, but during construction, it was determined that a modification to the foundation would be necessary, including the addition of a frost wall. As a result of the design change that would be required, one of the tandem parking spaces would need to be eliminated in order to construct the structural portion of that wall in the area that's identified in our plans. So we would be reducing the total parking that was approved, which a variance was granted for, nonetheless, from 8 to 7 spaces. We initially requested...
Hold on. Can we see the parking plan, the proposed new parking plan?
There it is. Yep, so it's right here. So the space in the upper left corner, Madam Chair, is the one that would be eliminated. So that would actually be the tandem spot. That would be the second spot in. The spot that would be in front would still be maintained. So that one parking spot would still continue. And then the remainder of the parking would be unchanged.
And, sorry, and the garage entrance?
The garage entrance remains the same as well.
And what was it?
I believe we do have an elevation if we want to jump back.
Okay. What drawing is it?
Hold on one second. We can jump forward. I just want to make sure it was in the final set of plans. I think we can jump forward further.
In the meantime, Ms. Barraza, how are the plans?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board?
So, this is an approved plan, this has a little carve out now for that wall section, right? That's the only difference?
The only difference, correct. And Madam Chair, I do apologize. There are 2 garage entranceways that service the parking spaces, and that was a specific requirement from the board through our design review. So that does not change. That was carried through with the permit issued. The only change would be the parking space in the rear portion of the leftmost side of the property.
Okay, good. Okay. Mr. D'Amico?
Yes, Madam Chair Lady and members of the board, Bob D'Amico, BTD. I'd like to request that an audio and video alarm be placed at the door, only because there's a lot of pedestrian traffic in that area, and I think, for people with disabilities, I think this would be an important issue. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I believe that was included.
Okay, hold on. Any other questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition with this proposal?
Just to recap the community process from last time. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Natalia Benitez with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. An abutters meeting was hosted in July 2020. Abutters had some concerns regarding the height. The developer worked with the residents and reduced the overall height to 40 feet. Abutters also voiced concerns regarding density in the area and addition of traffic. The applicant also met with the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association in July 2020. The association voted to support the project. Those that supported the proposal appreciated that the developer responded to concerns such as height, eliminating garage entrance and hooding court, changing the finish and materials, and redesign the entryway for better integration with the neighborhood. Residents also appreciated the sizes of the units, and the residents that opposed the proposal shared parking concerns. They believe that this plan does not provide enough parking for all units. And at this time, our office would like to defer all judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, yeah, we have one letter of opposition.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I do have a raised hand here. Matthew, are you looking to give testimony on this proposal?
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's an echo. Are you moving to the platform?
So, I'll
Please
back
go
up. I'm
ahead,
sorry,
go
because I'm not
ahead,
able
go
to-
ahead, put your name and address on the record.
Hello?
Mr. Ambassador,
Matthew?
can we move to the next person? Oh, he's the only one with the raised hand?
Chair, I think he was from the last case. He was having a hard time if I was reading the chat right. Mr. Morano.
He was for the last case?
Last case, I'm pretty sure.
Border, okay.
Just looking for testimony here too, but still having connectivity issues. I have no
Okay.
additional.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with BPDA design review and to, with a proviso to make sure that there's an alarm and sound annunciator.
So we're gonna carry over all the provisos from the last decision.
Correct.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza,
Aye.
Araujo also in support, so motion carries.
Madam Chair, if I may just have just a clarification question. So this was already approved and a permit issue. This is an amendment to the permit.
Got it.
We're
Okay,
subject to the BPDA. I just want to make sure for the BPDA, because we want to continue with construction as quickly as possible.
yeah, okay, let's.
Yeah, if we've already stamped off on it, we don't
Okay.
need to see it again.
Great, thank you.
Let's move.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 131-5710, 55 to 63 Summer Street. This is to update surface parking at 55 Summer Street to appropriate correct current conditions. Use request update to include up to 4 parking spaces and 1 handicap parking spot. The violations, Article 7, Section 4, other conditions necessary for protection, a change in the previous decision of the zoning board of appeal. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, and members of the board. Jay Eigerman, attorney from Reuben Junius and Rose, 112 Water Street, Suite 201. 55 Summer is the old Charlestown Savings Bank building right at the corner of Chauncey Street with the CVS at the ground floor. When it was approved in 1974, they got a conditional use permit in order to have accessory parking, which otherwise wouldn't be allowed. The proviso in that 74 decision actually says that there must be at least 12 parking spaces. My client purchased the building in the last year. It's really not feasible to even fit 12 spaces. We couldn't find any evidence of any striping. In any case, it is needed for loading. It comes off of Kingston Street. And this is the loading for CVS, which has trucks come once a week, and also the office space on the upper stories, 10-story building. So the proposal is we've actually striped it so that it meets code. We can do up to four parking spaces and 1 handicap space. And so that's the request, is to amend the proviso from 1974.
Okay, is there a better drawing that kind of shows how, or is this the only drawing that you
This is the only
submitted?
drawing, Madam Chair. It's a use of premises permit. There's no change to the building at this time.
And there was no other construction that eliminated those parking spaces?
No, it's a bit of a mystery of how they thought they could get 12 in there, but the loading dock, as you can see, is on the left and always has been. And there's a dumpster, and there may be other mechanical equipment. So I'm not, again, the record is silent on why they asked for 12 years ago. I suspect it was for bank executives. But there's no retail use back here at all.
Okay, and how does it present on Kingston Street?
It's actually, it used to be a lot before they built it in the 70s, so it's 50 feet wide. There's a good existing curb cut. There will be no change to the curb cut proposed.
And is that a wall between the parking and the concrete sidewalk? What is that?
Yes, I think that it's not a wall, it's actually a low curb. It's a low curb, that concrete box that you're seeing at the top right.
So, oh, that's okay, that's a low curve over there, okay? Okay, how are the plans, Miss Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Mr. D'Amico?
Yes, Madam Chair and the members of the board, Bob D'Amico, BTD. I recommend the removal of space number 1 to improve maneuverability. Thank you.
Okay, so we just need to figure out if the applicant's representative can tell us if this is expected to be people who come and stay, or is it expected to be active?
It's expected to be workers, a few workers in the office space who stay the whole workday. There's no objection to removing the 1. Again, as stated in our application, we would like the conditional use permit to be up to 5, but if it's not feasible to do 5, we certainly wouldn't press for 5. We could eliminate that 1 space.
Yeah, I would just be hoping to maintain as many of these spaces off street, you know, but okay. Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. This is Chulan Huang speaking from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. A abutters meeting was held by our office on June 2nd. No opposition from abutters at this time, and we would like to defer judgment to the board.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President in the office. The council would like to go on the support raised by feedback from neighbors and the downtown. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have no raised.
Ms. Ambassador, can you help us with the noise issue? Yeah. Okay. Given that information, BPDA, Jeff, what was the BPDA recommendation?
We actually kicked it. We'd like to kick it to Bob for the layout. And if there's any chance of screening and buffering, we'd like to take a look at it. But I know the area. I don't know how well that's going to work.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with a proviso that it would be for 4 parking spaces and for BTD and BPDA design review.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Let's see. Fortune.
Aye.
Ruggiero.
Aye.
Ehrlich. Dong.
Aye.
Barraza.
Aye.
Ehrlich.
Aye.
Araujo also in support, so approval with those provisos carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 127-1979, 95 Baxter Street. This is a full renovation to an existing 3-family dwelling. Construct a 16-foot addition on the rear of the building to accommodate 2 bedrooms on each floor and extend living space to the basement. The violation, Article 68, Section 29, roof structure restrictions. Article 68, Section 8, the floor-to-air ratio is excessive. Article 68, Section 8, the usable open space is insufficient. Article 68, Section 8, the side yard is insufficient. Article 68, Section 8, the rear yard is insufficient. And Article 68, Section 8.4, dimensional regulations, the extension into the rear yard. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Dermot Doyne. I'm representing Dylan McDermott, Riley McDermott, and with me here is Lewis Santana, the engineer. What my client is endeavoring to achieve is we presently have a legal occupancy, which is a 3-family and an MF sub-district, and it will remain as a 3-family. The building will be renovated. We'll be converting existing small units of 500 square feet to slightly larger units of 817 square feet. The proposed addition will not extend beyond the rear aisles of existing buildings on either side of 95 Baxter Street. And more important, the owner has, and his family have owned that dwelling for 90 years. And
so let me ask you, so on each floor, what is the square foot addition?
Okay, for the, you want the FAR, I give you
I
the
want the
dimension.
square footage. Because you said this essentially fills in an L. So what is
Yeah.
that? What is that square foot addition on each floor?
Okay, I will ask my engineer here just to give you a more concise on that.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. The addition is a rear addition, and that would be less than 300 square feet per floor.
300 square feet per floor, okay?
Less than
And each unit, so this, what we're looking at right now suggests that each unit will change from a 1-bedroom to a 3-bedroom. Is that right?
That is correct, madam.
Within 817 square feet?
That is correct, that is accurate.
And how many, and is this proposed to be rented to students or to families?
This is a primary residence, Madam Chair.
This is a 3-family dwelling, primary residence for on each floor?
The front, and this is Riley McDermott speaking, 95 Baxter, the owner. And I could give a quick background, but I would rather just keep it simple and answer your question. My family's lived in this property for roughly 80 years. My aunt inherited it from my grandmother. We've owned subject property.
You know, what I need to make sure is that all applicants understand that the relief we grant isn't to you specifically, it's to the property. So, you know, in 2 years, it might be owned by somebody else. However, the impacts of the construction will continue to be felt by the neighborhood. And our role in a certain kind of way is to look at quality of life for the neighbors. So we need to understand those things.
Sure, and Louis, I can take this. So, as is, everything will be rented. There's no plans to sell this. On the first unit currently, I believe it's slightly under 500 square foot of living space. The house is built around 1910. It is currently vacant. There are windows broken in it. And all I'm simply trying to do is modernize it to the point of it being practical for me to live into it on the first floor. The second and third floor will be rented out as tenants. They always have been for the past, I believe, 50 years ago.
Okay,
my grandmother.
so let me ask, so you're proposing a rear addition. What
Correct.
does the rear yard, what is the zoning required from the rear yard, and how much rear yard, open space rear yard will be provided through this proposal?
I can answer that. The rear yard, taking in consideration the shallow lot provision, is 15 feet. That would be slightly reduced from what it is now. The open space as well would be reduced to, I believe, 280 square feet. It's an existing non-conforming situation for the open space.
Okay, and tell
the
us.
rear yard becomes a variance because it was a conforming yard prior to the addition.
So it was a conforming rear yard, and okay, tell us about the roof structure restrictions. Is there any roof deck being proposed?
No.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate. I would like to know what the ceiling height is for the basement, the proposed unit in the basement.
The minimum ceiling height would be 7.6 in all habitable areas.
Thank you for bringing that up. Ms. Barraza, tell us about the occupancy in the basement.
That would contain the mechanical room, a sprinkler room, and a bedroom as well, along with the seating area. Part of the first floor area.
Okay, so since this is a gut rehab, we have a policy of not looking at occupancy in bedroom occupancy in the basement. So just you need to be clear about that, okay? Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, just to go on that, there's a master bedroom in the rear. It looks from the elevations like the floor is 3'8" below grade, which makes it pretty much of an underground unit, and I think therefore not in keeping with what we typically support.
Any, go
We will
ahead.
be adding, I'm sorry, we will be adding window wells in the back, 2 of them for that
Yeah,
particular.
that doesn't matter.
I think you've heard clearly from us that occupancy in the basement is not in the cards. At least bedroom occupancy. Is any other questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm Anna White with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. An abutters meeting was held for this project on November 17th of 2021. We have multiple letters in support and one from a direct abutter in opposition. The Cityside Neighborhood Association remains neutral on this project because the proponent didn't make suggested changes to the proposal, but the Neighborhood Association encourages families to stay in South Boston. At this time, we'd like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support based on a true community process, as well as feedback from neighbors and the relevant city group who indicated they were not in opposition to the project. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council at Large, Michael Flaherty. Council's position on Article 60 has been consistent. That said, there are times that these variances sought may be considered substantial hardship. The proponents performed extensive outreach in the community, made changes in response to community feedback, and as a result has earned the support, earned support for this project. Therefore, the council would defer to the board's knowledge and wisdom, understanding, and interpreting zoning laws as it pertains to unnecessary.
Turn it down, is that? We have a few raised hands.
Madam Chair, Madam Ambassador, before you do that, Madam Chair, we do have letters, a couple of letters of support in opposition, as well as the mayor's office spoke of.
Anybody who speaks, please put your name and address on the record, and please do not repeat what somebody may have already said. So let's go.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jack Stelly from Council Murphy's office. We would like to go on record in support of this project. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Janine Steger, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the zoning board. My name is Janine Steiger. I'm a property owner and resident at 99 Baxter Street. I would like to go on record in opposition of this proposal. The applicant has not addressed any of the community concerns raised at the community meeting in November 2021. The proposed building is over 3 times as large as any of the abutting properties with a similar lot size of 1080 square feet. The comparable abutting properties have 3 to 4 total bedrooms, or single family or 2 family structures with 2 stories. Expansion of the existing 3-bedroom building at 95 Baxter to a 10-bedroom building is not consistent with the Baxter Street neighborhood. The proposed building expansion has insufficient space for trash and recycling, insufficient parking space, and the potential for excessive noise pollution given the over 3-fold increase in building occupancy when compared to the abutting comparables. The usable width of the front building will only accommodate about 1 trash bin and 1 recycling bin. The number of trash bins required for 10 to 20 occupants of the 10 bedrooms would be 2 to 3 trash barrels deep and would encroach upon nearly in the entire depth of the public sidewalk, creating a public safety hazard and a public hazard for the trash barrels on the public sidewalk.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go next to Andrew. Can you please state your name and address for the record, please, and give new information?
Yep. Hi, my name is Andrew Balmer. I live at 131B Hyde Park Avenue. And I'm just calling in support of this motion. Yes, thank you.
All right. Zoom user, can you state your name and address for the record, please, and give new information? Hello? Yes, that's you, yep.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. I am Michelle Proctor. I live at 97 Baxter Street. I'm an immediate attached abutter to the project. My home is an owner-occupied family and has been for 22 years. If this project is approved, it would leave my home and rental unit with no access to natural sunlight, fresh air, and completely block the windows you see behind me. The windows are already blocked on the other side of the building due to a similar project approved around 2006. This will negatively impact my property value and rental value. My tenant has already given her notice due to the stress related to this project.
Thank you. Thank you. So we understand your light issue. Okay, go ahead. And density, go ahead. Ms. Ambassador, anybody else?
Yep, Adela, can you state your name and address for the record, please, and give new information?
Yes, my name is Adela Randazzo. I live at Windsor Drive in Framingham, Mass. I'm a realtor with William Ravitch.
Sorry, that's fine. I need to hear from abutters. Go ahead.
Yep, Mary F. Can you state your name and address for the record, please, and give new info?
Good morning. My name is Mary Fenton. I reside at 5 Saxon Street, and I'm the previous owner, born and raised with my 7 siblings in that house for 50 plus years.
26 people signed a petition, and they're all immediate abutters of the property.
Are they in support or in opposition?
In opposition.
Thank you.
And two raised hands. Nicole?
Hi, I'm a resident of Baxter Street. I'm here in support of the project since the
Your address, please.
89 Baxter Street. Both the owner and the developer have been very visible, which isn't something that always happens on our street. They've been accessible to us. Unlike most developments, I like that the owner is going to live in the building, so we have direct access to speak to them about any issues.
Thank you. Thank you.
And lastly, Alexander Baker.
Yeah, thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Thank you to the board. I just want to say that I've known.
Put your name and address on the record.
Yep,
and
it's Alexander Baker and 410 Dorchester Ave, so I'm about a 1/10 of a mile away. I've known this family forever. They're really good people. I know that they genuinely care about what's going to happen on the street, but more importantly, I think that people have to resign themselves to the fact that there is going to be a little bit more population density in the city as it goes on. I mean, we can't not prove these things.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Ambassador, anybody else?
No, ma'am, thank you.
I think you should consider the fire escapes.
Okay, everybody else, the board is now, has the mic. Everybody else should be muted, Ms. Ambassador. Thank you. So it sounds like there's a mixture of support and opposition. And the opposition seems to be focused on density and light. So did the BPDA have a recommendation on this?
No.
No, Madam Chair, we didn't have an official one on this one.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with a proviso that there be no inhabitable bedrooms in the basement unit.
With BPDA design review?
With BPDA design review, correct.
I'll second that.
Is there a second?
Yeah, Mark seconded it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Yep, aye.
Ehrlich?
Yep.
Dahl? Barraza?
Aye.
Araujo is in opposition, but motion carries with that proviso.
Madam Chair, would you like to make your comments again for the 1130 case, now 1144?
Okay, this just a reminder, we have a 6-member board today. You need 5 members to be in support of your proposal for it to carry. Thus, you are entitled to an administrative deferral. Go ahead, Mr. Fortune.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to call the rediscussions for 1130 for any deferrals or withdrawals. If you could please give me the address if you are going to defer or withdraw.
Mr. 114 Police Street.
I'm sorry, say that again?
20 Hinckley Street.
Thank you, Counselor. Case BOA 1258638, 20 Hinckley Street. Name and address for the record.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street. We are seeking an administrative deferral today.
To defer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
Araujo, also in support. The date, please.
We are into September 27th at 11:30.
Thank you very much, members of the board.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 11:30 cases? If you give me the address, please.
1305 Milton Ave.
Yeah, and a couple of people talking at the same time, but I think I heard Milton Ave.
Yes, 45, please.
Okay. For the record, calling VOA 1236084, 45 Milton Ave. Name and address for the record.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Ryan Spitz with Adams and Moranci with the business address of 168 H Street, first floor, South Boston. We are here today requesting an administrative deferral.
Motion to defer.
Second, go ahead.
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
Araujo, also in support. Date, please.
We have a date of September 27th at 11:30.
Thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 11:30?
1395-1405 Washington Street.
Got it in there, Mark. I think you were trying to get it the last couple of times. For the record, calling BOA 1298133, 1395 to 1405 Washington Street. Name and address for the record.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Mark Lacasse, Lacasse Law, 75 Arlington Street in Boston, attorney for the applicant, and we are seeking an administrative deferral.
Motion to defer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
Araujo, also aye. The date, please.
You have a date of September 27th at 11:30.
Thank you so much.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 11:30 cases?
59 Falcon Street, Mr. Secretary.
For the record, thank you, Counselor. For the record, calling BOA 1311763, 59 Falcon Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner. Administrative deferral, please.
I'd like to make a motion for deferral.
Second.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
Araujo, also in support. The date, please.
We have a date of September 27th at 11:30.
Thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the rediscussions for 11:30?
We have a few raised hands here. I'm sorry, if you, can you unmute yourself if you're, are you looking to defer, Michael?
No, I'm just looking to be updated to a panelist.
Oh, okay. We're all set. Sorry about that.
Okay. Calling the next case, 10:30, calling BOA 1298001, 3 Oswald Street. This project in an existing 3-family block, it had 3 bathrooms and additional attic living space, including a small dormer. Violations, Article 10, Section 1, the limitation of parking area. Article 59, Section 8, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 59, Section 8, the building height is excessive in stories. And Article 59, Section 8, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Jennifer Howe from Hugh Architecture, 181 Bowden Street. I'm representing the owner, Janice Yee, who is here with me. The project is a 3rd floor unit of an existing 3-family building. The owner wishes to finish the attic space and will be adding 605 square feet of gross attic space to the unit.
And how big will that top unit be?
The net area will be 1580.
Hey, Joe.
Okay, how many bedrooms?
When the owner bought it in 2021, it was used as a 5-bedroom, 1-bathroom. She wishes to make it into a 4-bedroom and 4-bathroom unit.
4 bedrooms and 4 baths? Sounds like it's a layup for a rental with individuals, not for families or anything, right?
This is supposed to be for a family unit. Actually, the owner's sister will be moving into the unit. She currently lives in Shanghai. She lives in the 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom unit currently, and this is how she would like to be renovated.
Okay, so how are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak in support of this proposal?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. Some background information on the community process. Our office held an abutters meeting in March. There were abutters who expressed concerns. The conditions of the property had deteriorated after the current owner had purchased the property, they allege. They also expressed reservations with the story that the family would be moving into this space. The 2 active neighborhood associations in the area, the Mission Hill Housing Services and the Community Alliance of Mission Hill, both voted to oppose this project. They mentioned that the owner owns multiple properties in the neighborhood that are primarily rented to students. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have those letters in the Mayor's office you spoke of, but we also have a support of 18 signatures in support of the project.
Okay.
Jacob, from Councilor Box Office, go ahead. Hi, Jacob, can you hear us?
Hello, sorry about that again. Madam Chair, this is Jacob from the Office of City Councilor Kinsey Bach. Just wanted to express the councilor's opposition to this proposed project and advise that we have sent in a letter of opposition as well.
Okay. Go to Colby Ye. If you're looking to give testimony here, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Colby Ye. I live at 17 Sunset Street. Thank you, Madam Chairman of the board, for the opportunity to comment. I pass by the property often and would like to express my strong support for the project, as I believe it will improve the living conditions and neighborhood quality.
Are you a relative of the property owners?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next person.
Yeah, Eric Alden, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. I'd just like to point out the owner of this property has...
Your name and address for the record?
I'm sorry, Eric Alden, 3 Darling Street. The owner of this property has a history of purchasing multifamily properties under an LLC and then applying for a homestead and somehow receiving that. Under the guise of owner occupancy, they've applied for multiple permits to have living space expanded into the basement and attics. Those have been approved. Once those projects are finished, they have since moved on to the next property. I do not believe that they will be occupying this property, and I'd like to go on record as opposing this. Thank you.
And this is homestead through the state?
I'm sorry, put him on mute.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go to the next slide. Mary, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Hi, my name is Mary Decker of 17 Sunset Street. Thank you, Madam Chair, and the board for the ability to comment today. I'm actually a physician at Brigham and Women's Hospital. I'm speaking in support of this project. I walk past the property frequently, and I've actually been personally putting quite a lot of time and energy into aesthetic improvements of our place, and I care deeply about the success of the neighborhood and, frankly, the feeling of joy and community of the neighborhood. And I'd like to communicate strong support for the project on the basis of general neighborhood improvement and increased livability. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, and Allison, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, hi. My name is Allison Poltonis, 81 Lawn Street, and I oppose this project. I am wondering, my understanding was that there was a driveway proposed, and it hasn't been discussed yet. Was that plan withdrawn?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Poltonis.
I am.
Okay, Mr. Hampton?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jeff Hampton, BPDA. Our recommendation is denial without prejudice. We have concerns about the driveway. The tandem parking just seems like it's a headache. And honestly, the 4-bedroom, 4-bath just doesn't pass the smell test. It kind of reeks of student housing. Thank you.
May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of denial without prejudice.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Dahl. Aye. Baraza.
Aye.
Araujo is also in support, so it's been denied without prejudice.
Thank you, Madam.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 1311085, 19 Spalding Street. This is a gut remodel of existing kitchen, bedroom, dining on the 3rd floor of the house, converting existing unconditioned attic space into conditioned living space with 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, extension of living space of unit 3 into the attic and the basement to be used as storage for 3 units in the existing mechanical space. Violates Article 55, Section 9, excessive FAR. Article 55, Section 9, excessive building height. Article 55, Section 9, excessive rear yard minimum depth. And Article 55, Section 9, side yard has not been met. Name and address for the record.
Secretary, to raise hand here. Hudson, is this your project?
Hi. Yeah. Hi, this is Hudson.
Can I ask all applicants to make yourself ready and to please get ready to jump on? We do have a limitation because we have a board member who has to leave at 1:30. So we request that everybody just please hustle. Go ahead.
Hello, this is Hudson Klebs for 19 Spalding Street. I'm the owner of the unit, and we're seeking a zoning variance to create a bedroom and bathroom in the unfinished attic space that is currently just deeded storage space for our unit.
Okay, are you proposing any dormers?
No, no dormers. It would just be within the existing footprint.
And what's the floor to ceiling height?
If you go, there's a side view here. The floor to ceiling in just the attic. At the maximum, or not the max, it's 7/8 to the joint, and then another 1 foot 8 inches to the peak.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Baraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands at the moment.
Mr. Hampton?
Oh, is that me?
Jeff Hampton, please.
Sorry.
BPDA. Okay, Ms. BPDA has recommended approval with proviso. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Secretary here, sorry, we do have a couple of support letters.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Councilor at large, Michael Flaherty. The JP Neighborhood Council supported this project, therefore the council would like to go on record in support.
Okay, may I have a motion from the board?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with BPDA design review.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo also in support, so motion carries.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 132-2125, 36 Gaston Street. This,
Sorry, Mr. Secretary, I think I cut you off.
yep, who's this?
Carol Holohan from Foley Hoag on the 155 Seaport Boulevard.
Please hold on while he calls the project to the record.
Yep, sorry about that. This is the removal of the BOA proviso to expire in 1 year to this petitioner only for conditional transitional housing use in a 3F 4000 neighborhood. It's no work to be done. The violation of Article 6, Section 4, other protectional conditions. Name and address for the record.
Carol Holohan from Foley Hoag, 155 Seaport Boulevard, on behalf of New Beginnings Reentry Services, a project located at 36 Gaston Street. Here with me today are the Executive Director of New Beginnings, Stacy Borden, and my colleague, Doug Magera. The board may recall that early in 2021, the board granted approval for the appellant to operate a transitional home for no more than 10 recently incarcerated women at 33 Gaston Street. The board's decision contained two provisos: relief to expire in 1 year and relief to this petitioner only. In this appeal, the appellant requests that the board remove the two provisos. So since
Okay, yes, please tell us about operations and neighborhood impact, because I do remember there was a lot of concern about that.
There was, Madam Chairwoman, and I think that's one of the reasons why the provisos were instituted. However, the project has been up and operational. There are now 5 women living at the premises. The construction was completed and an advisory committee was formed in the beginning of January. A temporary certificate of occupancy was issued in early March. It is temporary only because the chairlift, the wheelchair lift, has been delayed due to supply chain issues. That installation is scheduled to happen this month, and we expect that ISD will issue a full certificate of occupancy as soon as that's done. The premises, the grand opening was held in April, and New Beginnings now employs 7 full-time staff, 3 part-time staff who provide coverage at the project 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As I said, there are now 5 women residing there. There have been no issues of note. We have constituted an advisory board that's comprised of approximately 5 neighborhood members. That board meets quarterly, including a meeting most recently on July 14th. And we understand that there's a homeowners association that has voiced some opposition. We continue to try to work with the homeowners association, but the New Beginnings has an extensive policies and procedures manual that addresses many of the concerns that the homeowners association is articulating in its opposition.
Okay, thank you. So this is just for a change in the proviso. Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition to the removal of this proviso, which was a request for the relief to expire in 1 year and the relief to this petitioner only? I do not want to hear from the operator of the facilities because council has represented them well, but I do want to hear from neighborhood residents.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Keisha Santana from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this point, we would like to defer judgment to the board. We are unaware of the general neighborhood concerns, but they have been doing very good work with women that who were previously incarcerated. So I definitely wanted to highlight that, but we would like to defer the judgment to the board.
Madam Chair, we do have 2 letters of opposition.
Rochelle from Miranda's office, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rochelle, and I'm with Representative Liz Miranda's office, and I'm just here to verbalize our office's support of this project. New Beginnings has been a huge component in our community to be able to help folks who are recently incarcerated be connected with different resources, and they've been able to help us with numerous constituents who are in need of support so that they are not at risk of recidivism. And so I just wanted to go on record that our office is in support.
Mike Kozu.
Michael Kosu, Project Right, 328 Blue Hill Avenue. I submitted a letter of concern of opposition from the Hobo Organic Gas Noticeville Betterment Association. They request that you keep the proviso to this applicant only This street is heavily two-family owner-occupied houses. We wish that this house, if it's no longer with New Beginnings, that it reverts back to its single-family use that it was before. In addition, we request that the one-year proviso continue. We tried to reach out to try to, through Representative Miranda's office, a good neighbor agreement that was unsuccessful, and we'd like to continue those efforts to get that agreement. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Kuzo, you were not able to contact them, or what happened?
We did not reach agreement.
Oh, you did not, so it's a work in progress, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
May I respond to that, Chair?
Oh, hold on 1 minute.
Yep, thank you.
Anybody else to speak on this?
Families for Justice.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Mallory Honora. I'm from Families for Justice as Healing, and I wanted to express our full and unwavering support for New Beginnings.
Okay, hold on. I would suspect that that's what you would do, but please, I want to hear from neighborhood residents.
I have no additional raised hands.
Okay. May I have a response from the representative for the applicant?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Liz Miranda facilitated a number of meetings between New Beginnings and Mr. Kuzo regarding their compact. I think part of the issue or one of the things we take issue with is that many of the same issues covered in his compact are covered in the policies and procedures that New Beginnings already has in place.
No, I get that, but what I do need to know is I've seen policies and procedures that sit on a shelf, but if there is a real active consideration of the neighborhood, then leadership will make sure that they are held accountable in different ways. Because I know policies and procedures generally is for internal use, and people may get overwhelmed by that. So I just need to make sure that every effort is made to be responsive to the neighborhood. I do remember this case when it first came, so that's the reason why I feel that I should be just continuing to voice the concerns that were there a year ago, a little over a year ago. Okay?
Understood, thank you. And we continue to be proactive in our outreach to the neighbors and responsive to any concerns that may come to light. However, none have been brought to light.
Yes, no, and I understand. So okay. So,
thank you.
So given that information, may I have a motion, please? I guess the motion is to maintain the provisos or for 1 year effective from today or not. So may I have a motion?
I have an amended motion, which is that the motion stays in place, but with a 3-year extension versus 1 year.
May I speak to that?
No. So the motion is for a 3-year relief and to this petitioner only continues.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. A Fortune.
Aye.
Ruggiero.
Aye.
Ehrlich.
Aye.
Dong.
Aye.
Barraza.
Aye.
Araujo is also in support, so those provisos continue. And we, would request that the advisory committee and everything, as you ramp up to your 10 people occupancy, that you keep in touch with the neighborhood, okay? We wish you the best of luck.
Great, thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 132-1243, 18 Malcolm Road. The renovation in addition to an existing single-family detached dwelling. Scope includes finishing part of basement to have a full bath, rec room, and man cave. A second floor master bathroom addition is proposed above the existing sunroom. No change to the building footprint. The violation, Article 55, Section 12, floor area ratio is excessive, and Article 55, Section 12, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Derek Rubinoff of Derek Rubinoff Architect, and our address is 82 Spring Street in West Roxbury. The project is very simple. It's a existing single-family home, and Simona and Tim Lebroni purchased it a couple of years ago. They're a young couple. They're planning a family in the house, and they're looking to add some square footage. However, in a way that doesn't change the existing footprint of the house. So the two things that are the two components of the project, one is to do an addition at the rear.
Madam Chair, we have the wrong prints up there. Gallagher Boulevard.
Go ahead, Mr. Rubinoff. Continue telling us about the project while we get the screen up and running.
Sure, certainly. Yeah, there is an existing sunroom on the first floor that projects at the back of the building. And the first component of the project is to add a second floor to that sunroom, which would provide a master bathroom on the second floor at the rear of the existing master bedroom. And that is that addition would be about 10'6" by 12'4", about 15 foot high, including a gambrel roof, which would match the style of the existing main gambrel roof of the house.
So,
and then
sorry, this is a 1F, 9,000 square foot. What's the lot size?
The lot size is 5,125 square feet.
Okay, and what's the side yard insufficiency? What's required and what's being proposed?
12 feet is required, and the existing side yard is 9.8 feet, and that nonconformity would be extended by the addition. The addition would infringe further into the side yard than the existing 9.8.
And tell us about the basement occupancy.
The basement occupancy would contain no bedrooms. It would be to finish a portion of the unfinished basement, and there would be a rec room for the family placed down there. There would be a finished bathroom, and there would also be what we probably term a man cave.
Okay, got it. Miss Barraza, how are the plans?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Ceiling height in the basement?
I'll try to very quickly get you that. It's above code, I will tell you that.
In the meantime,
So
is any, go ahead.
I'm sorry, at least 7'6".
Okay. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. During the community process that we held, we received 5 letters of support, including one from a direct abutter. That information we defer to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, the council at large, Michael Flaherty, Council Joe Reckon, support.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
Madam Chair, Secretary, here we have those letters that the mayor's office spoke of.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's see, Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero, Olick,
Aye.
Dong,
Aye.
Barraza,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 135-2125, 1852 to 1858 Center Street. This erect a rear wood frame deck connecting to an existing daycare. Violation Article 56, Section 16, dimensional regulations. The rear yard. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Lucio Trabucco, Trabucco Architects, Needham, Massachusetts. We're proposing, as you said, on the corner of Corey Street and Center Street, there's a daycare after-school program. And one of the things they need is basically an outdoor facilities for the kids to use. Since there's nothing around the area, the suggestion was made, and I think it was a good suggestion to put a deck And this deck would be in the U shape. I don't know if you have the drawings, but the U shape. The buildings are U shaped, so the deck would be within the U shape. So it's not visible to any abutters, or the only visibility would be from the train station, the commuter line. So basically, we're proposing a deck that the children can use as an outdoor space, basically.
And what's the space currently used for?
The space is basically used for delivery of goods to the tenants there, commercial tenants, as well as some parking for the employees. The parking will still remain because the deck will be 9 feet above the grade there.
Okay, so it's like a second floor deck then?
Yes, it's basically a second floor deck, you can call it.
And how many parking spaces are there?
I believe there are about 4 parking spaces, I believe, 3 to 4 parking spaces.
And delivery will continue to be back there?
Yes, all the activities will not be disturbed by the deck. The deck will be above it.
Okay, how are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Excuse me? Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak in support or in opposition?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jake Lacey from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant went in front of the West Roxbury Neighborhood Council on June 21st, 2022, where they received a vote 7-0 in support. There was also vocalizations from abutting neighbors in support of this project as well. We have received no letters of opposition, and at this time, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council at Large, Michael Flaherty, Council to on record support.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
A motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Aye. Barraza.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Barraza also aye. Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 128-9500, 40 Soldiers Field Place. This is erecting 95,440 square foot, 6-story, 61 residential building with common roof deck, 2 Vespa spaces, and 61 bike spaces on ground floor, and 49 parking spaces on the ground floor and in the basement. Violations, Article 29, Section 4. This is in the Greenbelt Overlay District. Article 51, Section 17. 2 front yard setbacks are insufficient to the rear, no through lot, so no rear yard. Article 51, Section 16. The MFR is conditional use in a CC1 subdistrict. Article 51, Section 17, the floor area ratio is excessive. And Article 51, Section 17, the building height is excessive in feet. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Joe Hanley, 28 State Street in Boston. With me is the owner and proponent, Jeff Fierman. Also with me is Jonathan Garland, who is our project architect. Just quickly, Madam Chair, this site, 40 Soldiers Field Place, at the northern edge of Brighton, across from the Charles River, on the eastbound split of Soldiers Field Road. As was read into the record, it is a site that fronts on both the main strip of Soldiers Field Road at that split, and also Soldiers Field Place, which is a dead-end cul-de-sac street at its back. About 20,000 square feet of land, and it is between 2 project sites that were approved for 6-story residential development by this board, one of which is completing construction today. The proposal is to remove the single-story commercial building that's mostly surrounded by asphalt, with a 6-story, 61 residential unit building with 49 parking spaces. Madam Chair, this is an all-electric LEED certified project with new mid-block connections and family-style housing. For the housing program, you'll see on page 5, the unit program is 60% 2 bedrooms, 40% 1 bedrooms, no studios, no 3 bedrooms, but I will note that at least 10 or more of these 2 bedrooms are extremely large, and we'll go through that. The parking, to take you through the parking.
Tell us about, while we are on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about the quote, large 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, so if you go through I'll start at the floor plans, page 7.
No, just give us a general,
Okay, so the building is narrow at its front on Soldiers Field Road and widens to a prow at Soldiers Field Place in the back. On each level, from the first main level up to the 6th level, there are two bedroom units in the corner. One that is almost 1,300 square feet. You'll see that in blue, and that's also handicap accessible. And then there's
so I guess the question, let me just butt in and ask you, the question is, why didn't you just make those 3 bedrooms if they were spacious enough?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Great question. Because we're dealing with a narrow, long site, and with building code and other apparatus and window openings and the amenities that we're doing, it did not work. We would have to then offset it with studios or smaller ones. So Jonathan Garland, who's our architect, we worked very carefully through this, very much aware of the board's concern about compact housing. These are full-sized with 60% of 2 bedrooms. They're not just 2 bedrooms that are small. I do think that a 1,300 square foot 2 bedroom is pretty generous, as is the one that is 1,050. And that's replicated, Madam Chair, on every single level.
Okay,
so there are
tell
5.
us, please go ahead and tell us about the IDPs.
Yes, ma'am. So we would be required under the IDP to do 8. This developer has volunteered to do 10. And again, because we're 60% 2 bedrooms, we have 6 2-bedroom IDPs and 4 1-bedrooms. So again, most of them are 2 bedrooms. One of them is that large unit that you see, and it's for a more progressive range of between 60 to 100% AMI, and that's something we work closely through the AFF.
Sorry, 60 to what? A 100?
100. Yep.
Okay.
So the other thing I would note, Madam Chair, if I may, you asked about the size of the units. If you look at the floor plans, there are between, on each level, there's between 11 and 12 units, and between 7 and 8 balconies on each. So this is a situation where you have a lot of generous floor to ceiling height, a lot of window openings, a lot of open space. On the 2nd level, we also have both private and common terraces with a view out over the Charles. And as you'll see from this robust landscape plan.
Hold on, Mr. Hanley. Is there a roof deck being proposed?
No, this is an all-electric program. So on the roof, we have a solar PV and LEED certified, not certifiable. So that's part of its sustainability program.
Okay, and tell us about the parking.
So this is a lift system, both a mix of a lift as well as a garage system. So you'll see on page 7 that there are 14 spaces on the main level, and you'll see that we're directing the ingress of that parking off Soldiers Field Place, which is the quieter street off the split of Soldiers Field Road, leading to a car lift, which you'll see in the back middle, and that takes you down to 35 spaces on the lower level. We also have bike storage in excess of the city's requirements that we work through, as well as a pretty innovative child and family recreation space, child play space for movies, chalk wall, arts and crafts, ways that we can provide opportunities for people.
So let me ask, will that child and family space be available to the abutting developments also?
It's intended just to be for our unit. I know they have a mix. The one abutting us has a bakery, which will help to support. This is still an area, as you know, Madam Chair, that is emerging from a kind of a commercial strip.
Yeah. Okay. Ms. Barraza, how are the plans?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
May I ask, Mr. Counselor, what plan should we look at to see the rendering? What page should we look like to see the rendering?
Of the building itself, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
And in the meantime, any questions from the board? Can I just have everybody mute yourself, please?
There are some bus lanes that need to be made permanent.
Okay, in the meantime, any questions from the board?
I see that you have a community amenity on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going to go in there? Like, do you have a tenant?
so that is the children's play space that we've programmed as part of this. You'll see that on the ground floor, the main level. And that'll be programmed with the designer and the owner of the building as an amenity space. Yep. So you see this in some of these places, chalk walls, arts and crafts, hand sinks, and some other modular kind of play areas that we can break down so that, when you have a young kid or an infant, you have some space to go, not just in your unit, especially as this area becomes more connected to the neighborhood.
Is the park across the street still active?
So we are helping to fund the Leo Birmingham Trust Parkway, which they're investing in a new park in back of us. Across the street from this is, of course, the Soldiers Field Road, and then it's the Charles River. So, it's easily accessible and within close distance to those recreational areas as well. To answer your question before, Madam Chair, pages 16 to 20 will show you the renderings, and 16 is the view from and along this split at Soldiers Field Road, and you'll see the two sections of the building that have been designed and the variable setbacks that provide for views and a lot of balconied open space. If you go to the next slide, it will show you the same view but looking more towards the west, and you see that terrace space on the right, and we're breaking up the massing to create more of a mouth. That is a new mid-block connection that you're also seeing.
Hold on, Counselor, just 1 minute. Bob D'Amico, did you have a comment?
Before Bob, I just wanted to finish my thought.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair. The reason I asked regarding the children's and family amenity room is because you have such a large amount of 2 bedrooms, 60%, and I just would recommend, that it would be a child care center. With this much density, it's such a great kind of new beginning family. It can house family in this building. So it was just a comment.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's something that we're still working.
Okay, hold on. Bob, go ahead.
Yes, Madam Chair, Lady, and members of the board, Bob D'Amico, Boston Transportation Department. I'd like to request, according to BTD policy, that 25% of the parking spaces have charging stations, and the other 75% have the infrastructure for easy transition to electric charging stations when it's possible by the developer.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask everybody to mute, because you might be having a conversation, but we don't want to hear them. Okay. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Frank Mendoza here, Alston Brighton liaison for the Office of Neighborhood Services. Deferring judgment to the board at this time, but here to testify to the fact that the applicant went before the Alston Civic Association as well as the Brighton Alston Improvement Association on July 14th and got support from both organizations. The Alston Civic Association sent a letter in support this morning, which your office should have on file. And once again, they also received approval from the Bpda board. And again, at this time, deferring judgment to the board.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we have that one letter from the ACA, but we also have one opposition letter as well.
And what is the opposition based on?
It's actually an LLC 1500 is and opposed to the project. because of parking density in the neighborhood.
Thank you. Please, Mr. Ambassador, go ahead.
Maura McCray, go ahead.
Good afternoon. This is Maura McCray from Councilor Breeden's office. Councilor would like to go on record in support of this project. She appreciates the number of 2 beds that are included in this project and the number. Thank you.
Okay, Andrew Palmer, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Hi, Andrew Balmer, 131 Hyde Park Avenue. I think this project looks great. Great to see new housing. I have 2 concerns. One,
I'm sorry, you're on Hyde Park Avenue in Hyde Park. This is a Soldiers Field Road project in Brighton.
Yes, but it's the city of Boston, and things that happen in the city of Boston affect all of us, including climate change.
Okay,
So this is important.
Thank you. Annabelle?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Annabelle Gomes from the Brighton Austin Improvement Association. This project has been in front of the BIA several times, and the last presentation last month, we voted to support the project as presented. Thank you.
No additional raised hands.
Okay. So given that information, given the comments by BTD, may I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion to approve with design review and also proviso that 25% of the parking spots have electric vehicle charging with the ability to expand that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo also in support, so motion carries with those provisos.
Thank you very much.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 1320322, 362 Meridian Street. This is a change, occupancy from a 3-family to a 4-unit residential dwelling and erect a roof deck and new rear stairs. Violation Article 9, Section 1, reconstruction, extension of a non-conforming building. Article 53, Section 8, 3-family to a 4-family is conditional. Article 53, Section 9, excessive FAR. Article 53, Section 9, the number of allowed habitable stories has been exceeded. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient side yard setback. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient rear yard setback. Article 53, Section 52, roof structure restriction, access. Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking, insufficient parking. And Article 53, Section 8, the basement units are forbidden. And Article 27T-5, this is in the East Boston I-Pod. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner. Madam Chair, we were before the board on May 24th of this year. We took a deferral after the hearing on this, as there were a couple of plans that were requested, I believe, by Mr. Ehrlich, regarding the elevation of the proposed lower level that we're proposing to convert. Just to refresh the board's memory, this is a pre-existing 3-family dwelling that we're proposing to change to a 4-unit dwelling. We're not proposing to increase the height of the building. The slope of this property actually permits a full walkout lower level that we're proposing to convert in connection with a complete upgrade to the building. If we could jump down to slide 19 and slide 20, that will show, I believe, what Mr. Ehrlich had requested, and that was an elevation showing the difference between the sidewalk and the lower level. So yeah, I think slide 19 would illustrate what we're looking for. Here we go. So we're looking here at the left side of the building. There is a sub-basement under the lower level, but that lower level that you can see here on the screen, which would be lower than the sidewalk, actually is fully above grade for the majority, if not most of the property here. We also have the right side elevation that shows a similar condition, and I believe that was, again, the question of the board during the May 24th hearing. So here we're looking at the right side. It's a little bit more of a dramatic drop. There's a retaining wall on the right side holding the sidewalk, as you can see on the left side of the screen, and then again, fully exposed lower level for the existing condition for where we're proposing to change. The ceiling height is, I believe, 9 feet. It's showing 9 feet 10 inches from the lower level up to the first level, but I believe the joists being at about 10 inches would make the ceiling height, clear ceiling height, for the majority of this at 9 feet.
And what's the square footage of that proposed unit in the basement?
About 1,500 square feet, Madam Chair. These are all proposed to be finished as 3-bedroom units.
Okay, and that roof deck is only for the top unit?
It's intended to be exclusive for the upper level. That is correct.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Baraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions from the board?
Mr. Lenz is correct. Those drawings answer my question.
Thank you.
My apologies for not including those original.
Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Natalia Benitez, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office hosted an abutters meeting for this project on March 15th of this year. Some concerns regarding the density and the lack of parking around the area. This project was also presented in front of Eagle Hill Civic Association, and it was opposed 6 people approving it, 12 people opposing it. At this time, we would like to leave judgment to the board. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Secretary here, we do have support letters.
Okay.
We have a raise. It might be for the previous project, but I.
Okay, let's just move on. Bpda, what was the Bpda's recommendation?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Jeff Hampton. This was back in May of this year, and we recommended approval with design review with special attention to the rear and roof decks.
To the rear and roof decks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put a motion forward of approval with BPDA design review on particular access to the roof deck, hopefully with an internal stair.
Yep. I second that and Hansi's concern as well.
Okay.
I think that can be handled in design review.
Okay, so Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo is also in support, so motion carries with those provisos.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Calling the next 2 cases, calling BOA 127-9027-194 to 198 Bunker Hill Street. There is a companion case, BOA 127-9022, 198 Bunker Hill Street. This is for 194. This is a change of occupancy to 3 dwelling units and interior renovations for new 3-dwelling unit, 2 bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen, and dining. The violations, Article 62, Section 14, usable open space is insufficient. Article 62, Section 29, off-street parking is insufficient. Article 62, Section 14, floor area ratio is excessive. This is for 198 Bunker Hill, demolition of existing commercial building for 4 new dwelling unit residential. The violation, Article 62, Section 8, lot area is insufficient. Article 62, Section 8, the additional lot area is insufficient. Article 62, Section 8, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 62, Section 8, the building has excessive in stories. Article 62, Section 8, the building height is excessive in feet. Article 62, Section 8, the usable open space is insufficient. Article 62, Section 8, the side yard is insufficient. Article 62, Section 8, the rear yard is insufficient. And Article 62, Section 29, off-street parking and loading. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Courtney, 27 Carew Street, Dorchester. Good morning, Madam Chairman, members of the board. Our original proposal was to add 5 residential units on 2 properties, replacing 3 commercial units. During our initial outreach to abutters and...
Okay, so tell us what we have right now. It sounds like we have a change of occupancy from what to what? Tell us, is that from, what was that?
We're changing our plan. We had support from abutters at our abutters meetings, but we're changing our plan now to only replace the building at 198 Bunker Hill Street with 4 residential units, keeping 2 of the commercial units. We received feedback that was solicited by...
Hold on. We don't want to hear all that. We just want to know what's before us. So before us is 4 residential units and 2 commercial. Is that what's before us?
Yeah, the application 194, 198 Bunker Hill Street, we're going to withdraw that in consideration of the feedback that we received and move forward with 198 Bunker Hill Street, which is the conversion of a dilapidated commercial unit to 4 residential units.
So given that information, may I have a motion for denial without prejudice for 194 to 198?
Motion to deny without prejudice for 194 and 198 Bunker Hill Street.
Is there a Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo is also in support, so motion carries. Okay, so let's talk through 198 Bunker Hill Street.
198 Bunker Hill Street is currently a 1-story dilapidated commercial space. We're proposing to raise that structure and replace it with 4 2-bedroom residential rental units.
Okay, so 4 2-bedrooms. Give us the square footage of those bedrooms.
They're approximately 900 square feet, the units.
4 900 square foot units. Plus you're proposing to maintain the commercial space. Is there, or having the, no, it's purely residential, okay.
Residential, we're maintaining the commercial space in the adjoining building.
But at 198 Bunker Hill Street.
Purely residential.
Purely residential.
Is that what the zoning has? Because on the zoning viewer, it has the zoning subdistrict as LC for 198 Bunker Hill.
That's why the commercial use would be conditional, and that's, yeah, that's why the residential use would be conditional, and that's not cited. The commercial use on the first story would be conditional, and that's not cited here. Everything else is cited, however. Yeah, that's a good catch. So can you talk to us about all your other violations? Tell us about how much parking you're going to be providing for this.
Well, we're not providing any parking. We're about 10 minutes walking distance to the nearest subway, and there's 2 bus lines that run down Bunker Hill Street.
Okay, so talk through all your violations. We'd want to know about your building height. How tall is it?
It's 4 stories.
And what's everything else around you?
Directly next door to us is a liquor store. That's one of our abutters who is giving us full support. On the other side of us is our other building, which is going to have commercial spaces in it, and it has residential above it.
I just want to know a sense generally of the neighborhood. Is it 3 stories? Is it 4 stories?
Our building next door is 3.5 stories. There are some 4-story buildings, and I believe some 5-story.
Tell us about the rear yard.
The rear yard right now, as it sits, is non-conforming. It is going to shrink a little bit. I think you can see on there, there's a shed there that's in the rear yard of that commercial building that's going to go away, and I think it's very close to the same rear yard setback from that shed.
The problem I'm having with your proposal, Jeff, did you want to say something?
Yes, Madam Chair. I just wanted to clear the record. Residential is allowed on the first floor in the LC district in Charlestown.
In Charlestown, sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
The problem I'm having with this presentation, Mr. Courtney, is that you're not getting to us directly to the facts. We want to know the zoning requires X number of square feet for rear yard. We are proposing X number of square feet for this project. I just want it very clear, not about what a previous proposal is, not about what the existing is, but what is being proposed for this new dwelling, okay? So if you can just use whatever assistance you have and just give us the facts on the record, okay?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. Let me take a look at the plans here and see what I can see.
In the meantime, how are the plans, Ms. Baraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate.
tell us about that rear yard, because I'm concerned about the adjacency to the abutter on the rear, and the light and other impacts on them.
Madam Chair, you're asking the applicant, correct, or the architect, or are you asking me?
Yes, may I can you clarify, because I'm feeling very,
I mean, from the,
yeah.
from zone viewer, I see a sufficient amount of setback at the rear, so I don't see it being a problem.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let's go back to Mr. Courtney. Mr. Courtney, would you like to come back at a later date so that you can present to us clearly what's being proposed?
Madam Chair, I'm trying to find it in the plans. I'm sure that it's in there. I really would like to be able to move forward with my proposal today if possible. We did defer the last meeting based on new information from the neighborhood.
If I could just ask a question to the applicant. From that rendering, it looks like the fourth story is the mansard roof, is that correct?
It is correct, yes.
Okay, but it's occupied space?
Correct.
And ceiling height is what?
It's about 8 feet. The plans show around 9 feet per floor, but I believe with, finishes and stuff, it should be around 8 feet.
Okay.
Mr. Hampton, what did the BPDA recommend?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We actually recommended approval with design review. It is in a neighborhood design overlay district, so we'd like to take a look at it, especially because it's in a historical area.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'm looking at the site survey, and for 198, the property lines, it seems like the building next to it is built on your property line. Is that accurate? This is on page, this is after the life safety plan on the survey.
There's a common wall between our current commercial building and the liquor store, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, what is the space between your wall and the adjacent wall of your neighbors? How much space do you have?
It's a common wall. It's a common party wall. If you're looking at the building from the right, to the right of the building, that's a liquor store, and it's a common wall. There's no space there. On the left, there is a little bit of a space, and that's also our building, 194 Buckle Street.
I think Ms. Vedder is asking what the proposal is, not what the existing.
Oh, the proposal does not change the space that's there currently.
Okay.
Okay, can anybody on the board help me out on this, because we just need to figure out how to bring closure to this, if it's a deferral, or does everybody feel a level of comfort in the information that's being provided here? Because, just can you give me
I feel comfortable, given that Jeff provided feedback in terms of residential use being an allowable use under the local convenience subdistrict.
Yeah, and are you feeling that, given the design or the footprint of that structure, it's not going to crowd the abutters in any way? Especially concerned about the rear abutter, because it looks like the adjacent project is a 3-story building on one side and a single story, so I'm just concerned about the rear abutter. Should the 1-story decide to go up to a 3-story or a 4-story?
Just looking at Google Maps, there seems to be a number of 3- and 4-story buildings in the immediate vicinity. So I think there's enough information to go forward.
I mean, but there is on bedroom 2, the 2 windows that are right against the property. I mean, we could make a recommendation for additional rear yard setback to the property line, because there is that mass of those two windows on bedroom 2.
Okay, and anything and it looks like since they are completely abutting the 1-story, should that 1-story go up, there are windows on that property line too, right? Ms. Vedder?
At the rear, there is a space at the corner of the property line where it should be enough relief. It looks like at least 5 feet. We could request
Okay, hold on for 1 minute. In the meantime,
Sure.
let me take testimony. Please, is anybody here to speak in support or in opposition?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. It's been a lengthy community process. We had our first abutters meeting on January 11th. There were some concerns raised and the applicant pledged to work with the community on that. Before the last ZBA hearing date with this board, we received a batch of letters of opposition. So the applicant decided to defer and meet with those residents and make the changes that you've heard here today. We had an additional abutters meeting on July 20th. Only 2 abutters were in attendance. But since then, we've received a few letters of opposition regarding losing a commercial retail space on the ground floor. So we've had 2 separate batches of opposition letters. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Madam. This is Timothy Shan. I'm architect at 9 Wall Street. I'm representing Paul Kelly. He's the immediate abutter next door at Bunker Hill Liquors. We're in full support. We'd just like to work with the proponent as he, assuming he gets approved as he moves through the process. Yeah, those windows on our side, that's going to be a 2-hour separation. The mansard and the windows won't work on that north-right side, but other than that, we just want to be involved. My client wants to be involved.
Thank you.
We have raised hand from Councilor Coletta's office. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Sebastian Parra from Councilor Coletta's office. Our office has received lots of strong opposition from abutters and people from Charleston in general because they're losing 1 commercial unit. And for that reason, on behalf of the abutters and on behalf of Councilor Coletta, I would like to show my opposition to this project. Thank you.
Joanna, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Thank you. My name is Joanna Hines, and I live 26 High Street, Charlestown. I'm also a small business owner in the neighborhood. So I do oppose this mainly because we need to be keeping whatever commercial space we have, whether it's dilapidated or not. I mean, we've seen examples of dilapidated buildings such as Brewer's Fork, one of the most popular restaurants in Charlestown, be brought back to life with some creativity. I'd also like to ask how many feet, not just stories, because it looks a lot taller than the surrounding buildings. And as someone on the call mentioned, this is a historic district and it actually faces one of the most historic Revolutionary War graveyard sites in all of Boston. Lastly, I would like to say that the opposition letter that was mentioned as being awash with the support was actually written by the only elected body of officials in Charlestown, the Charlestown Neighborhood Council, a 21-member commission, all of whom are either appointed or there are 7 at-large members and the rest are elected by the various precincts, and we oppose it. Thank you very much.
All right, Boyle.
Hi, my name's Sean Boyle. I live at 39A Tiverstown Way, Charlestown. I'm also a small business owner in Charlestown, and I oppose this project because we need to save any commercial space that we have. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to close comments. May I have any comment back from the applicant? Any clarifying comment from the applicant?
I was able to look at the plans and see that we have 35 feet, 3 inches of height. I thought that might be helpful, but at the same time, we mostly had support except for the loss of this commercial space because we were proposing to take away 3 commercial spaces, and we're preserving 2 out of 3 commercial spaces.
Okay. Okay, so with all this information, may I have a motion, please?
I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with a proviso that there are no building code violation as it relates to windows on property lines
Okay, and it's for design review.
and BPDA design review, correct?
Second. Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Ruggiero,
Aye.
Oleg,
Aye.
Dahl,
Aye.
Baraza.
Aye.
Motion with that proviso carries, so you're all set. Good luck.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
On the last case of the day, calling BOA 125-8783, 99 Erie Street. This is combining parcels to erect a new 6-unit apartment building, new construction with roof decks and new rear driveway. Violates Article 10, Section 1, limitation of parking area. Article 60, Section 40, parking maneuverability. Article 60, Section 40, off-street parking and loading. Article 60, Section 41.1, conforming with the existing building alignment. Article 60, Section 8, the use is forbidden in a 3F zone. Article 60, Section 9, the lot area is insufficient. Article 60, Section 9, the additional lot area is insufficient. Article 60, Section 9, the floor-to-area ratio is excessive. Article 60, Section 9, the usable open space is insufficient. Article 60, Section 9, the building has excessive feet. Article 60, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. And Article 60, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Derek Small. I have a business address of 51 Dobson Road, Braintree, Mass. Madam Chair, we're here today seeking relief to erect a 6-unit building with roof decks and no parking. The zoning subdistrict here is a 3F 5,000. Our lot size is approximately 3,900 square feet, and the violations are.
I'm sorry,
So forbidden use,
you're breaking up, Counselor. What's the lot size?
4,870 square feet.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and the violations are as follows. It's a forbidden use because it's a 3F 5,000 zoning subdistrict, and we are proposing a MFR, family residential. Lot area is 5,000 square feet. Again, we have 4,872 square feet. Floor area ratio, the requirement is 0.8. We are proposing 1.2. Side yard insufficient, requirement is 10. We have 5 on one side, and we have, because it's a corner lot, we have 0 on the Michigan Ave side. Rear yard requirement is 30 feet. We are proposing 10. And with regard to the open space, we require 400, and we have 250. Madam Chair, with regard to specifics of the building, building consists of 5 3-bedroom, 2-bath units. The handicap unit that we are proposing is approximately 970 square feet. It contains 2 bedrooms and 2 baths.
I'm sorry.
We are proposing.
So there's 5 3-bedrooms. What's the average square footage?
The average square foot is about 1,000 square feet. The smallest unit is 951 square feet.
And the 1 and the 2-bed?
2 bedrooms, 970 square feet. 2-bed, 2-bath, and that's the handicap unit.
Okay, so I have a basic question, is that this is 5,000.
That's correct.
This lot size barely meets that 5,000 requirement, and there's 6 units proposed.
That's correct.
Can you tell us why this relief should be granted?
Yes, well, support from a neighborhood group and what the owner who lives in the community was trying to do is create some rental housing for the area. You know, in going through the community process, speaking with neighbors in the Erie Ellington Neighborhood Association, there needs to be providing additional housing for the area, in particular rental housing. And so it came up throughout the process, and this is what the owner proposed.
Okay. And so let's see, the rear yard is 10 feet. So what's the distance from that wall to the abutting property?
Abutting property on the side is like 10.5 feet.
Okay, and tell us about the parking.
We are proposing no parking as we are on bus lines for the 23 and the 28 going from Mattapan.
Okay, and so what about residents who may work odd hours? I mean, because, you know, we go back to the question about, you know, this is very dense compared to surrounding, with an extra burden on the residents already on the street for accommodating all the vehicles from these 6 units.
Yes. Currently, there is parking on both sides of Michigan Avenue and on Erie Street. And, you know, in going through the community process, there does not seem to be a parking issue in the area.
Okay. How are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Madam Chair, the plans are adequate. If there's no parking in the rear, why is there a proposed driveway?
Yes, because there is a current curb cut there. And what we were proposing on that curb cut and in that space was an area for the trash, but later it came out that we were going to provide indoor storage for trash in the basement, because we are providing storage in the basement, bike racks, and a laundry area.
And
the curb cut there already exists.
And I'm assuming that access to that roof deck is by a hatch?
No, there's a head house.
There is a head house. So, and what's the size and who has access to that roof deck?
The roof deck is cordoned off and is apportioned for each of the units to have a little bit of open space up there. Total roof deck size is about 820 square feet. And the roof deck sizes for each unit range from 80 square feet to about 130 square feet. We also have an energy zone, solar-ready energy zone on the top of the roof, which consists of about 599 square feet.
Okay. So, Ms.
May I add, Madam Chair, as well, the roof deck is not visible from the street, as it is set back at its closest point 4 feet from the edge, and from all other points it's between 6 and 10 feet.
Okay, Ms.
So it's not
Barraza,
visible.
the plans are adequate except for that. Okay, any questions from the board?
Yeah, a couple of comment. Just looking again at Google Maps, there are a lot of dense multi-unit apartments along the street in the area. So contextually, it seems okay. Mr. Smollett, as I understand it, the head house is a continuation of the common central stairway going up that feeds into the apartments. But it's a pretty good sized head house, and I think, and it doesn't look like it's set that far back from the front. It seems pretty noticeable.
The structure on the roof deck at its shortest point from the front its closest point is approximately 4 feet. And then all other areas are 6 to 10 feet away.
Yeah, but I mean, the front edge of the head house is 4 feet from the front of the building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I
mean, it can be moved back. We can work.
This is why we support hatches as opposed to head houses. But
Understood, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. During the community process, the applicant worked closely with the butters and also with the local civic association, which you've heard from, Erie and Ellington, and I believe they voted to support this proposal. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we do have that one letter of support.
Madam Chair, I do have a raised hand. Andrew, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, I'm Andrew Ballmer, and I support it because we need more car-free housing in Boston. Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, ma'am.
Is that tree, do you have any trees currently on the property?
I think there's one tree currently on the property.
And is that? Go ahead.
No, but we are going to be proposing a landscape plan with obviously the Bpda design review, where we could plant some trees and shrubs around the site.
Because it looks like it's a fairly mature tree, which may be knocked down in your construction for this building.
I mean, we will try to preserve it if possible, but again,
The thing I'm worried about, so let's get a motion on this. May I have a motion from the board?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with provisos. One is BPDA design review on the selection of material and exterior massing to work more with this context. I think that would resolve some of the issues with the head house. And the second is that there will be no driveway, that it remains open space for landscaping at the rear.
And can we have a tree preservation, please?
And to preserve as much trees or replace if it's to be removed with trees, new trees.
Okay. And then I think the question then that I have is, on that roof deck, it looks like each unit will be apportioned between 80 and 100 square feet of open space. I'm assuming that.
So that could be another proviso where BPDA provides feedback on the scale and extent of the deck.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that, although I would prefer to see the head house removed altogether.
Mr. Ehrlich, when you have not eliminated head houses, we've gone through design review to make them true head houses, right, instead of rooms. So if that, I understand where you're coming from, and I know the board's position on that, but if the head house were to stay, we can make sure that it is a true head house.
Got it, and set back further, okay.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. Fortune?
Aye.
Ruggiero?
Aye.
Oleg? Dong?
Aye.
Baraza?
Aye.
Araujo is also in support, so motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Have a good afternoon.
And board members, that's the last case, and thank you for sitting straight through from 9:30.
Thank you, guys.
I hope, Joe, that.
Recording stopped.
Okay?
Thank you.
See you guys at the next meeting.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay? Bye. Thank you.